on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is United vs. Everybody. I am your host, Sean, and it is a Man United News Roundup on a Monday afternoon. I want to know how everyone's weekend went. I want to know what you guys got up to. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the matches that went on this weekend. I'm sure everyone's eager to vent and or laugh, but we are going to talk about all that and more, you guys. We've got midfield to talk about. We've got some possible exits to talk about. And we're going to talk a little football finance because the landscape of the Premier League in particular is definitely different than what it used to be, and it could be even more different moving forward. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I read a little piece by Kieran Maguire, so if you guys are familiar with him, football financial expert. But we're going to talk about all that. Ian's going to jump in as well, you guys, so make sure that you are strapped in. Make sure you hit that like button, please. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. You guys know the drill by now. I'll see you back here in a hot second. What's going on, Ian?
What's going on, man? What's going on, legends? Everybody all right, hopefully? Hanging in there. Bare fingertips on the rock.
Mondays can kind of go either way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Hate it. Oops, that was the wrong one. Yeah, hate it or love it. Mondays, you never know. But we are back, you guys. How was your weekend? Was your weekend all right?
Yeah, not too bad a weekend. I was saying to you before we started, I've had a nice chilled out day in the garden today with the family and potting along in my little tractor with me grandkids watching and stuff. So yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, I just like that as moments I live for. So.
Yeah, it's nice sometimes when the weather's nice just to get out and spend some time outside. I think it's hard, right? Everyone's got their jobs, everyone's busy, but it is important, I think, to get out and touch grass, as they say.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You guys, we are going to be talking about a little bit of everything today. But if we get to, as always, if we get to 20 likes while we're live, I will gift 5 memberships. If we can get to 30 likes while we're live, I'll throw on 5 more on there, you guys. So big up everybody for helping us get to almost we're over 4,200 subs. We're on the road to 5K at the moment, you guys. Every little bit helps. Like, subscribe, it is free. Also, real quick, while I've got you guys too, GoGoalShop actually now has this year's 3rd kit available. I kept checking it, wanted to make sure I could update you guys. You can go get the 3rd kit now at GoGoalShop. So remember though, if you haven't yet registered with GoGoalShop, remember to go down in the description of the video, use the code or the link that's down there. It's an invitation code. Use that when you register, you will get $5 off. So you can go ahead and get yourself this year's kit for like £30, $30 and $5 off. I mean, come on, you can't beat it. So go check it out. Let me jump in the chat first and foremost and see what everyone. I see Lucky Singh is back in the house. Big up, Lucky Singh. Good, welcome back. I'm not gonna throw up everything because you're kind of jumping ahead a little bit where we're on, but I will say as much. It's good to see you back, my friend. Hope you're doing well.
Welcome back, Lucky.
He's a big fan of. He's just throwing out all sorts of names. Danny B's in the house. Lucky says a Bamba is on its way. Well, let's hope so. I hope a Bamba's on its way. We're running out of time for Bambas.
I hope so.
We are running out of time.
I really do.
Bambas, man.
Yeah, but it's just while you were on that GoGoalShop, I was just going to lead quietly in. If you can't see, missing something behind me that I used to own. I was in such a fit of rage the other day. I've given it away. Genuinely, no. I was so annoyed, and I said, "Well, why you got it then?" I was like, "Oh." And she said something about it, and I was like, "You can have it." And the next thing, it was gone. And she was like, "You're not mad, are you?" I was like, "No." And then I looked at that.
It wasn't a Rooney shirt, was it?
No. Just the new one, the new blue one. This season's blue one.
Yeah.
No. And I'm not mad because this or that, the blue, that represents when we were the football club that I support.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but at the moment, it just doesn't represent anything. And so I looked at it and it made me more angry. So I was like, do you know what? Let them have it. I'm that angry with it.
It is difficult. There's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of impatience. There's a lot of feelings going on in the fan base. Don't worry, we'll talk about it. It's all good, man. It's all good.
All
Foster,
good.
welcome, Foster. A new face in the house says, United are making things scary. I mean,
Evening, bro.
scary how? I'm not sure what you think. Sometimes when people say scary hours, they think something good's coming. I'm still waiting. I do still think we'll make some signings, maybe at least one, hopefully two. But I've just, again, it's almost moot at this point because these
Yeah.
signings aren't going to start for another couple. They're
Anybody's
definitely not
too
going to.
late, no
Yeah, they're
matter
not going
who
to
it
start
was
this
now.
weekend.
Yeah.
They're not. They're just not. We've got even players who have been at the club for a minute who are just getting their first minutes against AC
Mm.
Milan, who are not going to probably start against Hull.
Ah,
So it's just annoying.
yeah.
Really
So
big
you could
annoying.
bring us Fatinho right now. He isn't starting against Hull. It
Exactly.
doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter who they sign now. We are currently doing the high wire act across Niagara Falls without a poll.
We're gonna chat a
You
little
know.
bit about the summer. Obviously, we will be back later on the Wednesday. We're gonna be doing our season prediction show. You guys
Yep.
make sure you hit that notification bell for that. Where Ian, Dylan, and I are gonna sit down, kind of give our top five, our relegated sides, our expectations, our demands of the season, all that kind of stuff. And then once the transfer window shuts, we will do a transfer ratings video of the window of each signing, all that kind of stuff. So, spoiler alert, it's probably not going to be a high rating from me, but big up,
I
Phil.
can't see it. I can pick up Phil.
Mr.
Oh,
Mel, Glazer Blitz Gang United or UK, big up. United forever, another team, no way, never ever. I like where your head's at. I like where your head's at. Welcome.
always, bro.
United.
Yeah,
United.
United.
United. Let's do it. Danny is less optimistic than he was this time last season. Shouldn't be the case. Yeah, I think it's just
100%.
and Ineos are kind of missing a trick on easy tap ins for, you know, big summer boosts. Like last summer it was center mid. This summer it seems to be left back, and it's like it's not hard to go ahead and do that. If it takes this long, then again, that's why I keep coming back to, what was the plan? Was the plan only to save money? Because if so, I'm very annoyed.
Yeah. The
Like you
plan
see,
was to
it's
wait.
excited.
That was the plan. It was. It was literally to wait. We are
Yeah,
hoping and waiting that something comes and it lands in our lap. We are
yeah,
literally like Mary Poppins and the Stork, or what, I'm getting them mixed up there. But you know what? You know what I mean. We are literally sitting there. Please, please, something just land in my hand. If you hold your hand there long enough, something will get put in it. But
just waiting for the deals, man. It's like that's weird. Jason, the cool kids in the house, says Ederson was far way cheaper than Kamara, but I guess we're far more concerned about who is injury prone and who isn't. This is why do we have a world class
yeah,
facility? We have top physio. We definitely don't have top physios. Our physios. How many times have I said it on this channel, guys? It's Dr. Dre, Dr. Pepper, Dr.
yeah,
Seuss are our physios, man.
no
One
chance.
break, two break, three break, four kind of a thing.
Yeah,
Danny's at a 3
just
out of 10, not even a 3.5, 3.5 anymore. You know when Danny drops his point fives, that it got real.
yeah. I mean, I'm not far off agreeing with him though. I said to a couple of my friends at work, I was like, it's not the players that we've signed that I'm unhappy with
Yeah,
because
no.
I'm happy. I like all of them.
Yeah.
It's the ones we haven't, and I don't care the names. It's not even the names,
Yeah.
right? And I can't defend it, and I know we all know why they're doing it. But when you turn around
Quiet.
and say we've gone, when you turn around and say that we spent 80 million or 85 million on two midfielders, and Manchester City, however cheaty it is, right, are about to go and spend 240 million on two midfielders. And regardless of whether we think they're good or bad, right, that's an intent
Yeah.
to secure what you've got. Ineos have got no intent to build on the goodness of last season. They are preying on a miracle for Michael Carrick, and frankly, they're hanging him out to dry.
And I don't need £100 million player. Honestly,
No,
you could target 3, even 4 players for £100 million if you really have this best in class recruitment team, and you've got top analysts and scouts. You've got Sansoni on the data. You've got Vivel. You've got. It's just there's like just a flat out reluctance and a refusal to risk overspending, which is just weird. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here.
yeah,
We are getting ahead of ourselves.
I am sorry. I'm so pent up. If you give 1 second, I'm just gonna leck off.
Yeah, we're gonna chat about all that. I got something on the screen. There goes. Let's start with something that's probably still, I mean, clearly a little bit frustrating for a lot of fans, but like let's get some of this out of the way because obviously let's talk about our loss to AC Milan in the 2026 Champions League final. I mean, oh wait, this wasn't the Champions League final. This was a preseason friendly. You'll forgive me
Mm.
for not remembering that, judging from the outrage and the temper tantrums I'm seeing among certain YouTubers and a lot of the fan base. Um, Thought it was a Champions League final that we lost for a second there. Listen, I mean, now and I'm gonna get your guys' thoughts, and obviously, I want your thoughts. But listen, I'm
Mm.
just gonna put this out here. We were shit. We did a watch along for it. It was shit. It was garbage. We lost to a more physical, aggressive, up fit AC Milan side. It is what it is. Carrick himself admitted after the match we just were not good enough. But before we dive in, I'm just gonna tell you guys this. This match did not, and honestly, preseason as a whole didn't tell us anything we didn't already know, right? It didn't. We already knew everything that we learned from this match. We know that Shaw can't get up and down the pitch. We know that Maguire can't play a high line. Why our defenders were caught so high over and over again, I don't know. We knew that we still need a physical center mid. And we know that a couple of these players in the first team are just not match fit yet. I mean, Cunha ahead of this one only had 30 minutes against Leeds. Like,
Mm.
we know that. I'll tell you what, though, what I also didn't need to be reminded of is just how good this guy on the screen was, Arden Yashari. I mean, he just,
No.
again, in that match, he showed why he was so high on my list last year. But you guys, what are your thoughts on this one? Ian, I'm interested to hear what you got to say here.
Um, I got multiple thoughts. I'll start with the list of. I thought a couple of the Milan players look superb. I thought Tamori looked a little bit off it, and then he came right into the game and started playing properly. Um, their goalkeeper I'd never seen him before. Young keeper, he was good as well. And Chukwueze just had us on toast the entire game.
I mean, that's
No,
going to happen
he
when
might as
Shaw is
well have
literally
had.
when
Yeah.
Shaw's holding hands with heaven and he's literally sitting in the middle of the
Well,
pitch
he
and there's
needed
nothing but
his hand
space.
holding as well, but we'll get to that.
Yeah,
But
but let him make
that
let him do it on his own. Don't vacate the entire
oh
left flank.
no, absolutely. Yeah, he was fantastic. But I thought one of their best players was Ramos. He was a nightmare from minute one to the end when he went off. And I'll
Proper
tell you what, he
striker.
showed. Yeah, he shows why a number nine does what a number nine does.
Exactly.
And his goal was more of a carbon copy. If you need to know what you do as a number nine when the ball's out wide, watch that and watch it and watch it and watch it till your eyes are bleeding, and then watch it some more. And
Yeah, his, his,
what
his
it,
movement was perfect. He was in front of Maguire. He's wrong side, and
regardless,
then yeah,
he made, and it wasn't even the best cross with loads of power. He just made everything about the movement and embarrassed Harry Maguire, who this season in the air has looked embarrassing. I said it the other day. Um, the whole game, I'm worried about McBurney's going to toast him. And if Hayden Heaven, we'll
good.
go move on. If Hayden Heaven starts against Hull, we're in trouble
Well, he's
because
probably going
I
to,
frankly
honestly.
think he's the worst of our centre backs in pre-season. If Euro doesn't start, I don't know what the kid has to do to get a start. He's been our best defender all
I
of
think
pre-season.
I think Heaven
Period.
is what he's shown me again. This isn't something I didn't say last season either, but what he's shown me is that the kind of mistakes I see Aiden Heaven make are the kind of mistakes I'd almost expect to see a teenage center back to make. It's just lack of understanding of positioning, of awareness and stuff. Just stuff that you start to really. It takes almost like 5, 6, 7, 8 years to really start to be for a lot of that to become second nature. And but yeah,
I agree.
he was heavily involved in a couple of the goals we conceded throughout preseason. Just and a lot of
Yeah.
it had to do with just not paying attention to the back
Yeah.
post.
Yeah, and he's not aware of, like you said, he's not aware of what's behind him ever, even when he looks at it. And he is too aware of being a proactive centre back, which in most situations you can't be. You've got to react as a centre back, and that cost us because Luke Shaw is bad. Luke Shaw was bad. He really was, but he was bad 40% because he was having to cover what Heaven wasn't doing, and the 60% because he is literally, when someone puts him on order, he's toast. He's literally
Yeah,
buttered bread.
and again, we already knew
So
that he can't play the left back role the way
no,
it's meant to be played anymore. He just
yeah,
can't.
it,
He's done a good job last season of coming out to make those challenges, but he either makes them or he just is completely like taking himself out of the game or out of the play in
yeah,
that moment. Like, and there's too
absolutely.
much of that going on against Milan. And again, like I said, fair play to Milan. The system that Amarin played, the very system that a lot of us could not stand, is a big part of why we were so overwhelmed. Not only were they fitter, we know
We
Amarin
let them do it.
prioritizes that, but they had all these extra bodies in wide positions, which we had a choice to make because he plays with the two tens and the striker, and because they play with wing backs, we either had to mark the space wide, which would leave the channels open for the tens, or we had to move centrally to kind of just shut up shop. But again, that just left a lot of space, and we had
Mm.
nobody getting back. Like Shaw can't. I mean, we can say he's going over to help Aiden Heaven, but again, at the end of the day, he's got his job to do. He can't
Oh,
handhold Aiden Heaven.
no, absolutely. I'm not, it's not. I say it's not an excuse for Luke Shaw. I thought he was one of the worst, if not the worst, player on the field.
The defending
But
in total against Milan was garbage. It was just bad defending. Like what was
yeah,
like Harry Maguire? Who did he collide with just outside our box from that random throw in?
oh, I think it was Delo.
Just they just
It might have
ran into
been,
each
but
other, and then like
yeah,
just it's so
or
embarrassing.
Santos actually. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it showed the lack of legs in the midfield. As soon as Santos went off, they even up. They
yeah,
overrun it. Loftus Cheek was looking like prime Patrick Vieira, and that's embarrassing. So I mean, just put it on a penny. Pre-season or not, that was 90% the team that's starting at the
yeah.
weekend. You
Basically,
best believe it. So if you think that was, you can take that as pre-season and think, oh, it was just whatever game against whatever team. They've been battered by everybody they played. Not different. There was no different to the
yeah.
team that they played last week against a rubbish. I can't even remember who they lost to. Some Austrian team 3-0. Chelsea absolutely slapped them with their C squad.
We knew Amarim was going to show up with an axe to grind though too. Again,
Yeah,
I'm
of
not too
course.
concerned about the result. I care very little, but
I've
again, this
uh,
performance. Here's the thing
yeah,
that worries me is this was the first case of this entire preseason where we're going to get a little bit of a
inside.
glimpse at a Champions League schedule. Like we had a Wednesday against Leeds, Saturday
Mm,
against Milan, which is what we're going to be seeing more of this season. And
they couldn't handle it.
no, they couldn't shot like they just could and like remember like Maguire didn't even play the last game. They were managing his
No.
minutes, which is a concern if you're managing minutes for who's probably going to start your first match of the season. So I'm not too thrilled with this.
I don't get why we're managing his minutes. It's not like he's had a busy summer.
No, it's not.
I mean, frankly, it's an abundant. It shows even more of a deeper need of our squad. But it frankly was embarrassing. And we get on to the midfield. Although I thought played quite well in patches, and our starting midfield against Hull will be Tielemans and Santos, and that's okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that because we were good.
Tielemans and Cobby had no bite to them whatsoever.
No, not at all. But you could tell Kobe was literally that's his first legs,
Yeah,
and Tillman's was I think he'd run his race at that point. But it was then you're leading on. I thought Dorgu and Ahmad were having flashes again where you could see what they were doing and you could see what work they were doing.
yeah,
I feel sorry for Cunha because it was a little bit of a no thankless task because we were trying to play like Mbumu was in the role, and that's not Cunha's way. And I've said this multiple times. You're going to play the system of Mateus Cunha in the 9.5, right? You can't have the balls going quick, bang, and in behind because he's not going to get onto any of it,
no,
not once.
that's what Mbumo is going to be good for. Cunha wants that ball to feed.
Ahmad
He
should have
wants
just
to
played
drive
there.
in there. Yeah, I just it was not a
You know,
great
anyone.
from Carrick either.
No,
Like we said, we were outplayed. We were definitely
I thought it was
outnumbered,
embarrassing.
especially in those wide areas and in and around our box. Again,
Mm,
this is the way that Amarim's system.
yeah.
You get those overloads, especially
Mm.
in the flanks.
But I
It's
just
just
say, but sorry. No, you're right. I was just going to say a point because she said she came on the other day and made a comment about me. But she said to me while we were watching the game, she was like, Why aren't we getting cover on the? I wasn't sure and Delo getting cover because we had Ahmad and Dorgu on, who are probably our two most defensive attacking players. They're more defensive minded than Mbumu and Cunha, so they should have been tracking back more. So it was embarrassing on that scale as well.
yeah, I
It
don't
just
get. I didn't
completely
get
fell
it.
apart.
I think they were too concerned about the central players that
Which
maybe
I
they
don't
just trusted
understand. What
themselves too much.
Loftus Cheek he's in a nobody. He's
Yeah, I
frankly a
mean,
nobody. It was
Turquoise, Loftus Cheek. I mean, they made us look bad. I mean, Gonzalo Ramos I like him a lot. I liked him at
I should have
Benfica.
got him.
horrible career move to go to PSG. He definitely wasn't worth what AC Milan paid for him. I think they massively overpaid for him, but he's a
Oh,
very good
mm.
old school kind of striker. Reminds me a lot of like a Lewandowski the way he plays a little bit.
He's a
But
predatory striker. He isn't going to do all this hold up with his back to ball, back to goal, play you in little intricate 1-2s. He can do it, but his main game is put the ball somewhere where you want me to be. A little bit, I tell you, I give him a real props for this, but a little bit is his instinct is a bit Van Nistelrooy. Rude isn't a channel runner or a step over merchant, was he? He would just put the ball where you think I need it to be, and I'll be there. And that's, like you just said, he's a predatory old school number 9. And
yeah,
yeah,
you
I
don't see
think
too
if
many
we
of them. But
no,
I do like him. I
no.
think he'd been a good option to come in and compete. But again, I wasn't going to pay 70 something million for him. But big up,
No.
big up, Rich. I think it was Bruno's first start. And that's
Evening,
what we
Rich.
said. A lot of this had a lot. I mean, fitness has been a thing. World Cup threw a spanner in the works in terms of Michael Carrick's preseason preparation. Obviously, this
Mm,
was Leach's first minute since Cunha's only played 30 minutes against Leeds ahead of this point. Colby's first minutes, Bruno's first start. I'm not making
yeah.
excuses again for the individual mistakes. They're just bad. Like Shaw and Maguire shouldn't be making the kind of mistakes. Like
Mm,
why Harry Maguire is like 5 yards into the opposition half, making challenges in open play is just beyond me. There was one
yeah.
instance where he just completely missed it because he was trying to force the opposition player off winning that first ball, but it didn't. But his teammate didn't get it. Like the other our other Shaw, I think, just completely missed it and just led
Yeah.
to a counterattack. Like just go and deal with stuff,
I
man.
don't get why you're that. If you're that type of defender, like Martinez used to like nicking in, and say you got like your Rio and your Vidic, Rio would be the one that would read the ball and nick in and get that. Vida never bothered with that. He'd wait for you to back in and then just power through the back of you, which was what Maguire should do. He shouldn't step up. He hasn't got the power. He hasn't got the ability, the agility, or the pace. So just play your game, mate, because it
Doesn't
was
make sense.
embarrassing.
I will
Mm.
say I don't. I mean, it's human nature, but I'm like, I just kind of have to ignore it. Like the people who are making these really big kind of connections where they're like, oh, Bruno's first start, we completely fell apart. Like
That's irrelevant.
it's a huge kind of correlation masking as cause. You could say that literally about anybody who played on the weekend and blame them as well. Like it's to me it's a bit lazy. I think it is a bit lazy. So
Yeah.
I'm just calling it like I see it. I think analysis like that is a bit lazy. I think it's
Well,
just a
yeah.
bit kind of looking for someone to point the finger at personally.
Yeah. It wasn't Bruno's very first minutes either. It's his
No,
second penalty miss
this
of
is first start,
pre-season.
yeah.
Yeah, and that, we're putting that down to he was away with Portugal, right? That's what we're saying. So was Gonzalo Ramos. End of story. End of story. You can't. No one can say nothing because Ramos was away at exactly the same time, and there he is doing that. So I don't want to hear any excuses because there was no excuses to be given to those players yesterday.
Oh no, nobody gets an
None.
excuse. I'm just talking about the fans who are pointing fingers at
Oh,
Bruno
sure.
because we lost. I think if this were any other manager other than Ruben Amorim, I don't think people would have cared as much. I do think that
Yeah.
that is because you look at a lot of the
Oh,
content, a lot of
of
the posts
course.
going into the match, all this nonsense about this isn't a friendly, this is Amorim. Like, all right, let's just relax.
Calm. Yeah.
Let's just calm down.
Everyone thought we were storming the Alamo. I
Breathe
get
into a
that, and it
paper
was.
bag or something. Take some deep breaths.
Yeah.
Like this is still preseason. It's still friendly. Yes, you want to win them. Yes, my main concern is that people get fit and nobody gets injured. But it is. It's
Yeah.
like we're gonna talk about the community shield as well. Like it's a nothing. It's only matters to
That
the
was
people
funny.
who win
That
it. Like it just is what it is.
that was funny. I thought.
But yeah, like Danny says, too many central play. Yeah, and I think that we saw that a little. We got this goal, and then it was like we just kind of started forcing the low block a little bit. And we know that
Mm.
Michael Carrick does employ a little bit of that low and mid block. It was a little too much low block. There were too many bodies in our box, and not enough of another. We usually like against Arsenal and whatnot. Like Liverpool last year, we saw like yes, we had a bank in the box, but then we also about 5, 6, 7 yards further forward we had another bank blocking off passing lanes. We didn't see that a whole lot. We just saw like 8, 6, 7 players, United players, in a line in the box, which is just nobody coming out, putting pressure on the ball, and we just
No.
kind of trusted our ability to make blocks or clear it. Which I don't know what they're basing that trust on because I haven't seen anything from the defense
No.
this whole summer to make me think that they can handle that. But What are you
No,
going to
not
do?
at all. I say our best defender of the summer, our two best defenders, in my opinion, weren't starting the game, Mazraoui and Yoro. And if they don't start
Yeah.
against Hull, I don't know if we even want to win.
Well, we will talk
So
about that as well when I do my prediction. If you or Dylan want to jump in for the prediction, you're welcome to share your 11.
yeah, I'll be there.
My 11 is going to for that one will probably be a combination of what I'd like to see, but also just being realistic about who's fit because I can't expect Licha, for instance, to start because I just don't think that's going to happen. He might come on
No,
for about 30 minutes towards the end, but at this point, you're just gonna have to play, man. Like we don't have the luxury of just dropping points in this first run of fixtures. So big
but
up Bexy.
I'd rather Yoro play than Leacher if he can't play. I don't want excuses after the whole game that it was Leacher's first minutes. No,
Yeah, when
it's
you
his fault for
clearances
not
because Ollie
turning up.
McBurney is he could have a field day very easily. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it on
Mm.
Friday this week. Samuel Ingram's in the house. Says the United system proved Bruno Fernandes shouldn't be playing in the first team. I'm not sure where you're getting that take from. Anybody who doesn't think Bruno
That's
Fernandes should be
madness.
starting for Manchester United, I don't.
He
I
will once
mean,
again be our best player without a
haters
shadow of
gonna
a
hate, I
doubt next
guess.
year. Yeah, of course they
Haters
are.
gonna hate. And this is Bruno's
We'll
first
get
start.
onto
It is
that
what it
later.
is.
We'll get
Yeah.
onto the Bruno news when I can lose my head. So I'm just
Yes,
waiting.
Simon, I am picking and choosing because I'm not going to be able. If I sit here and read through every single comment, this show is going to take about 3 hours. So yes, I will pick and choose. It's this the way it's going to work, guys. Um, but yeah, we'll talk. And Simon, we'll talk about Shesko later because I am starting to get a little concerned about his fitness
Uh,
as
uh,
well.
Absolutely, I'm with you on that one, Simon. I've been saying it and saying it. Uh,
So
it's a
again, it
joke.
is preseason. That doesn't mean I don't care. It doesn't mean I'm
Not for
not
him.
frustrated with the players. You guys were here for the watch along. You know that I was criticizing us pretty much the entire match because it was a shit day
Mm.
at the office for United. Wasn't good enough. I didn't see enough from Carrick to wrest a little bit of control from the match. But again, hands are a little tied just with the fitness. But again, these players are going to might have to just get fit on the job. You might just have to literally just come in and play yourself to fitness, and it's just the way it's going to be. And if anyone's got a problem with that, talk to FIFA, talk to Ineos. They could have had some ample quality rotation options, but we don't. So it is what it is. It's a shit situation to be in if you're just coming back from your vacation, and in like Leach's case, for instance, and you're already thrown in the deep end. But this is what is being a professional footballer, and so you need to go just deal with
Mm.
it, man. I'm starting not. I don't really care that much about if they're a little tired or if they're a little jet lagged. I don't care. I
No.
don't care at this point.
But yeah, I already said it the other week. I was annoyed that Leach got an extra day for absolutely zero reason. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
don't buy that whatsoever. And if you go back to the days with the World Cup, when we had a whole bunch of players in the World Cup from all over the place with Sir Alex, I remember a lot of people saying. I remember saying on the 92 podcast about some of them took a week less holiday to be back because you had to work that hard to be in the team, and you had to work that hard to be
yeah.
better than you were the last year. I don't
Like
see a single
Lemons.
one of ours, Lemon. Yeah, sorry, I was going to say, apart from Senna coming back early, that I just give him so much props. I wish
Yeah,
every one of our team had that much want, especially all the ones that weren't at the World Cup. They should have been there 2 weeks earlier.
yep,
But I'm sorry, you've been away on holiday playing football
yeah.
once every couple of days, and you're not even playing every game.
Cobby's the
I'm
one
sorry,
that
you don't need
frustrates
another
me most of
month
all. I
off.
think
Exactly, yeah. You didn't need
Cobb,
another month off.
he didn't play like at all. Like he
No.
basically had a vacation in the States, and like I feel
Yeah.
for him. He's probably frustrated, annoying, but I'm like, at what point does the professional in you say, you know what, I want to make sure I'm
I want
feeling
to be
good. I've
ready.
had a good vacation. I can sit around the house for another couple days, or I can sit on the beach
Mm.
for another couple days, or I can go ahead and make sure I'm ready to go like a little that much earlier. Like I don't know. I mean, it is what
No.
it is.
Yeah.
Y'all can let me know.
I just don't. I think it's too pampered. They're all too pampered nowadays. Like they don't have to.
Well,
There's all these rules and regulations where we just let it slide to make them feel better about themselves. Well,
Betsy.
yeah, that's all well and good when you're stacking the trophies, but when you're stacking L's instead, I'm sorry, it isn't good enough. And we're
Well,
talking about raising the standard. Well, then raise the standard.
We're not. We're
Don't
stacked. We
just
got
talk
the one.
about
We
it.
got the two L's in preseason. We got them kind of to bookend either the both ends of the season. I'm not again. I'm not gonna. I'm a little frustrated. I'm not panicking. I'm definitely not panicking like Bexy. I know there are United fans who are panicking. Again, if you go watch the fan reactions from this AC Milan match, it's just flat out embarrassing. Like honest to God, embarrassing. You'll probably never see me on any of these fan reaction compilations because you'll never see me. I'm
No,
40 years
don't.
old. I'll be 41 in a couple weeks. I will not sit there and act like a 4 year old on camera because we lost a preseason friendly to Ruben Amorim AC Milan. Like that's
No.
embarrassing. Like have a look in the mirror. You got any
Yeah.
YouTubers, you know who they are. And they know who they are too. Like have an actual God's honest look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself what you're doing with your life if this is the way you behave. Like it's embarrassing. I'm
Oh,
embarrassed.
absolutely.
It's the kind of stuff you see from
Um,
toddlers at like the grocery store when they don't get ice cream. It's freaking embarrassing, man.
I mean, I think a lot of those. I mean, as much as I like watching some of the fan reactions, but only when they're like Liverpool losing, because that's generally my joy. But
Oh yeah,
the
that's yeah, that's
most of them are
Liverpool.
put on. I think most of them, especially the certain people, absolutely
But
put it on like
even that is
makeup.
embarrassing though. Like
Oh
now
yeah,
you're
but it's
just
for views. They're
yeah,
just
but that's
selling
my
their
point.
ass.
It's embarrassing, and
It's
that's the
only
thing.
fans for football.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I go back and forth sometimes with like how I feel about being on YouTube because I'm like, is this what people want to see? Do people want to spend
Exactly.
an hour engaging like that? Because I'm
Yeah.
just that's if that's what people want, then that's not for me. I don't know if this YouTube thing's for me,
No,
but
it's just that's the troll stack. That's the mass mob. That's this global world of everything in one bubble on my little device at my touch now, and I can say what I want to who I want, how I want, Sean, with with no consequence.
the
And
big
that's this
channels the
world.
big channels make it worse, man. It's just it spreads, and that's why it's
Yeah.
becoming a thing. Like it is what it is, man. This is also why for a while there I wasn't doing match reactions on the immediately after the matches. I would do them like the day after, so everybody gets a chance to get out of their feelings a little bit and
Mm.
not because and
I
yes,
mean,
everyone wants you. I'll probably get twice, three times as many views if I do that, but at the same time, I'm just not in the mood to deal with to do that. Like it just is what it
no.
is. So
I mean, you know what I'm like in the chat when you're doing a watch along. If you let the camera, if you let me come on now like I am, but you made me watch the game, you wouldn't be able to broadcast it, or you did whatever monetization you were getting would be gone, and YouTube would put the video down because I am
I'll say
absolutely horrific. I
I'll
am,
say
might as well
save it.
be there.
Yeah, I'll say save it for the whole match. The preseason stuff is just not
Yeah,
gonna. It's not gonna get there.
but like
So
watching live and the camera on me is not two things that go together. No, it'd be X-rated broadcasting because I scream like I am inches from the pitch.
oh,
They
God,
should hear me.
we'll have a speaker alert notification, or I'll just mute you. Phil's got a question about Tielemans. You guys make sure you
Go on,
get
Phil.
involved. You make sure you like, subscribe, and you guys
Yeah,
feel free
any
to answer some of these
questions?
questions too. Like I said, I'm not gonna be able to answer to drop on every single comment because we'll be here all night. But then that's part of
Cool.
it. I mean, but again, memberships. That's a perk of membership too. You do get priority. Question responses. That is a big thank you for supporting the channel in that way. So I
That's
have
like,
to I have to draw a line on that at some point in the future.
mm.
Phil says he's
Well,
got a
it's like if
question.
it's a direct question, then it's
Yeah,
easier to answer. If you're making a statement, you can't really answer that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, put it in a question, Phil, Simon, and we could try and get it answered. But what's Phil
Phil,
saying? Go on.
Phil is questioning whether or not Tielemans can play as in the pivot. He doesn't think he's got the strength or the pace to be effective there. What do you
Um,
make of that, guys?
I'm not sure it's all because his game's definitely not all about the pace. His game is a lot more. I mean, he's more energetic and quicker than say a Casemiro, but he plays a bit more like that. So
Yeah, I mean,
he's a bit more
he's a different
mentally reads
profile.
it. Yeah, if you look at last season's stats for him and how many times he intercepts and wins the ball back and these aggressive challenges, he's very aggressive in his tackling. He just doesn't throw himself around.
Yeah,
That's why Santos was so good when they worked. That's why I didn't think we were great at any point. But when those two were together, Santos helps the team tick. And I could not be more. He's 10-10 signing so far. The only good thing about this window, in my opinion. But they worked because of Santos' energy, it allows Tillmans to do his float. So you could see what will work with Kobe. But when it comes to Yuri, I think he can do it, but he couldn't do it with like Mount next to him
Yeah.
or someone more attack-minded next to him. It would have to be someone that is of the slightly more 6 to his 8.
Yeah,
I
if we're
think.
gonna be playing a team that is maybe in a low block or something where we're gonna have a little bit more of the ball, or maybe even a team who sits a little
He's
higher,
perfect.
and you want someone who could pick that pass and get over that high line. I think that Tillmans is going to be able to do a job, but I also don't like him next to Kobe in the pivot. I don't
No,
think that there's enough physicality in there, and I think that he's coming in. He can also rotate with Bruno. It's nice. I will say it's nice to have someone in deeper role who can kind of pick a pass rather than having to see Bruno constantly drop in between defenders to pick up a ball and do it. So now, maybe in the dying minutes of the game, if we are chasing a point or something, Bruno doesn't have to be the one to just bomb things forward. Bruno can maybe stay a little further. Tielemans can be the one to
definitely.
bomb it forward as well, and Bruno can do a little bit more in the final third too than a lot of these other players have shown. So it's
Oh
nice to
yeah.
have someone else who can do that, someone who could find Bruno with a brilliant pass as well.
Well, it was a couple of times in Milan. The only sort of times we did get in behind were with Bruno making those late runs.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
like
didn't
Simon
go
says,
well, but it went on.
the more defense, and like you said, and like Simon says, a more defensive-minded midfielder would be good in some matches. And Simon, I will indulge in the chat when I do it. It's just, I mean, thank you for your instructions on how to how to run the channel, but we will talk about the chat when a lot of it. I mean, I can't sit here and talk about everything Lucky Singh is saying, for instance, because Lucky Singh is throwing out a bunch of transfer targets. We're not there yet, so we're not going to derail where we are right now talking about this preseason game.
No,
And I've spent the last 20-25 minutes indulging in the chat as well, so it is what it is. And if you keep repeating yourself, I mean, that's just what it's going to do anyway. So let's put a bow on preseason. It was fine. We were all giddy against like PSG and whatnot. Who else did we play? I forget who else we played in preseason. But
Rosenberg and someone else.
Rosenborg, yeah, we were all getting giddy, and then Leeds started to show us a little bit of that physicality that's definitely lacking. And again, hopefully, part of me maybe hopes Michael Carrick is just like knocking on Ineos's door, but we'll see what happens. But let's
Yeah.
move on to some transfer talk. The big news of the week here, and it has to do with midfielders. Last week we saw some reports linking United to Monaco midfielder Lamine Camara. Wasn't the first time we've been linked to
Nope.
the Senegalese midfielder, mind you, but we had a little bit of an update on this, and it has more to do with price. So let's see that's been reported, because it has been reported that it will take more than £51 million to sign Lamine Camara. Liverpool's still linked. Again, those links aren't going away anytime soon.
Not at all.
If you guys aren't familiar with Lamine Camara, he's very much in the vein of a Sangare, kind of all action, Gume, similar
Like
kind of
Uma, yeah.
player, getting around the pitch, getting stuck in, winning challenges. Can pick a pass as well. I'll put up some numbers here. Covers a lot of ground, so you can see he covers pretty much the entirety of midfield.
Oh, he's an energy
Yeah,
ball, isn't it? Yeah.
takes the corners, harasses the opposition. Again, he's very similar to Mamadou Sangare. If you look at some of his metrics, again, it's going to be very similar to what you're going to see from Sangare in terms of possession won, duels, and progressive passes. That's what these guys are doing. They're winning the ball, they're getting stuck in, and they're getting the ball forward efficiently.
Extremely well at getting the ball back. Like, that is high.
Yeah.
That is high on that ball. Yeah, that ball recovery is high.
Yeah, I like Kamar a lot. You guys, I scouted him. Not last season, the season before. I did a scouting report on Kamara as well. He's not the biggest. He's 5'8", but he's so good at pressing the ball and regaining possession in his own half. He's just outside SofaScore's top 10 top-rated players in league last season, sixth in that league for most interceptions per 90. I read that Palace reportedly made a verbal bid of around 35 million that was rejected. And again, the issue again with Ineos is this late in the window. Of course, it's going to jump up a lot in price. So, what are your thoughts on this kid? I know you're familiar with him as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've rated him for a while. he wasn't the highest on the list. I mean, we've just named two of the other three players I would put in the same sort of bracket as him, that I would have rather had. I mean, I don't see us paying 50 million for him for starters.
Yeah.
When Agume's 30 at tops, I mean, I just don't see that. It makes they're the same player. In fact, I'd say Agume's got more experience,
Yeah, I think he's a
played in
little bit
Europe
older.
more. Yeah. So, but I mean, as I say, they're very similar. They're extremely similar. But I think the price tag is our own doing. We've made this price tag rod for our back.
Yep.
You know, but no Premier League experience. And we're saying 50 million we paid for Santos with sort of
Well,
20 games in them.
this is the August price hike now. We saw this
Yeah.
with Anthony, if you guys remember.
Mm.
This is what happens when you leave it. This and again, this is why I'm so frustrated with Ineos. It's less to do with like just the no sign. It's how late we're leaving it. It's just super annoying. Simon doesn't rule out. Yeah, I wouldn't
Oh,
rule
I
out
would.
Camavinga. I'm just not. I would personally rule him out in my list because
Yeah, no, that's no way
I'm
happening.
not a
Not at this
fan.
stage. Not at this stage. They want too much money, and he wants way too much money. That's why City backed off. Look how much money they're prepared to throw at something.
I've never
No,
really rated Camavinga all that highly, to be honest. Just yeah, I'm
injury
not
proneness.
injury prone. Doesn't you can't really. I mean, again, you a fair play to players who maybe want to take on the challenge of going to play for Madrid, but the way that club is run, you're never really guaranteed of anything.
He took on that challenge 5 years ago, and he's not succeeded
Yeah,
yet. So, what makes him think he's going to succeed now in a manager that won't play that type of player? Not what he's got,
yeah.
like the ones he's got. No,
Simon thinks we need more than a squad player. I think that
definitely
I think the way we look at squad players is I think most people tend to use that phrase, and it's like that
a
means they're like
reserve.
the reserve. I look at it like this because Kamara is a different profile to anyone else we have in midfield, and I think it's
Yes.
against certain opposition, the midfield battle is on where you want to match a little bit of that physicality. This is where you're going to start someone like Kamara ahead of maybe someone like Andre Santos, for instance, or Kobe, instance. Sit
Mm.
Kamara next to Tielemans, and you've got an excellent midfield. Sit him next to either Kobe or Santos, and it's a good midfield. And this, you guys remember, that's what I kind of wanted. I wanted to be able to have different players all play with each other against certain opposition.
Yeah, we
Kamara,
want different options, Sean. Isn't it?
he wouldn't start against every single opponent per se, but I think that he would.
Mm.
Again, you have to keep in mind too, with Champions League now on top of the league, we're probably going to be looking at 55 matches total. Hopefully, 50
Mm.
minimum. You probably think with the two domestic cups
You'd hope.
first rounds. Hopefully, right?
Mm.
Praying for not a first round exit. So there will be minutes. You're looking at least 25 matches per player
Mm.
at minimum, right? If you split it down the middle. So
Yeah,
I don't
you're going
think
to
I'm
be
too
hoping
worried
that
about it. I
way.
mean, and look at the big squads and the big clubs in the last couple of years. I mean, City, when they were at their peak, asterisk, literally their bench was worth more than entire, squads for
Squads.
it.
Yeah,
All
Burnley's
the teams,
entire squad
yeah,
wasn't worth that.
they
Yeah,
were stacked. They were stacked. So,
but I mean, when
um,
it comes to this kid as well, I mean, you're just alluding to it a little bit now about having four midfielders and having four options.
yeah,
All have got their own thing they're particularly good at. But
yeah,
for instance, I would say if we signed someone like him, like an Agume, if we'd have got Sangare or Urenki, we'd have got one of those, right?
yeah.
Then that goes in for me with Santos, say, away at Anfield, or if you're going to the Etihad or something, because you're going to go, right, you two sit there. And although he'll do all the defensive duty, Santos, we all know from pre-season, not only does that very well, but can also play a pass. And in some games, you've got to facilitate it like that. But
This
at
would
the
be,
moment, we just don't have that
yeah.
fourth option.
Kamara would be like a Baleba alternative, that kind of profile,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Simons, what about Kone? Injury prone,
Yeah.
it's just injury prone. I've put that up on the streams a couple times. I posted it on Twitter a couple weeks back. Like he's just injury prone. And again,
Mm.
it's not always the number of injuries that you got to look out for. It's the nature. If you got like
Repetitiveness.
different things, like if someone had COVID here, or even if someone had like an ankle sprain or something, cool. But when you start seeing a couple different calf injuries or a couple different hamstring injuries, then you start. It's the nature of hamstrings is they don't tend to get better when you start having issues. They only typically
No,
tend to get worse. The
they
calf becomes,
reoccur.
yeah, and it's just
Mm.
that's the kind of stuff I tend to lean away from. I don't even mind these days like players like Adam Morton or something who had a groin issue, but then he got surgery on the groin issue because surgery is tends to be, and the way that they handled the surgery too was like, let's
Long
it's
time
a
off.
long term thing. Like they were
Mm.
willing to take more time off because they knew it was the better long term option. Like that kind of stuff, I don't
That's what we've
necessarily
done to Lit.
mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes so much more sense to do that. Like when you look at it, and I think the other thing with Kone is I don't think the United like the price at all. Otherwise, there's no reason we wouldn't have moved on it. And
yeah,
if the thing is, if they go for someone like that now, they've got no excuse why it wasn't 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago,
yeah.
nearly now.
And
So,
that's not
but I
true.
mean, say you go for an Adam Walton now, right? Let's just say they do that.
That's
They
still
can
cost more.
claim, yeah, they can claim, although it costs more, they waited to the last minute to try and see if they could get it, and then they just did the deal. He was the plan all along. Now, fair enough, I could kind of buy that. It should have been done, but if they go and just bring in something that's not, it's underwhelming that they could have done a month ago, that's no one's going to be impressed by that. So that's the thing with Kone. I think it's injuries. I think it's the price. I just don't think they like it. There's something about that, and we'll get onto it. But there's like the Jason Wilcox story today, and I've said it so many times on this channel. There are too many cooks and not enough decision makers. We haven't got a captain, and I don't mean on the pitch. I mean in the boardroom who makes the final
I
call.
don't know who makes the calls at that
No,
recruitment board level these days. I mean,
no.
it's anyone's guess, but I mean, you've got to at
Well,
least listen to guys like Sansoni or Vavell
yeah,
when they're highly rated, when they're top in their
mm,
field, and you bring them in.
yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point? Just doing it so no
Yeah.
one else has them. Well, I got to go back up here because I missed one. I definitely agree with you, Simon. We don't have the squad to compete on all these fronts. That's kind of the point we're making.
No,
We need more
100%
signings.
not.
But Lyle, big up Lyle, celebrating 5 months of
Big up,
membership.
Lyle.
Big up, my friend.
No, you can't allow those kind of things. It just it don't help you. It doesn't benefit us. It just is.
Yeah,
No, it's not good. It's not good.
yeah, yeah, and I agree, Simon. That's what I said earlier. I even said it during the watch along when Andre Santos went off, and it was a midfield of Tillemans and Copy. Like I was very, very worried about the physicality and the
No
defending,
bite.
especially since it was Copy's first minutes since our last game of the
Sure.
season, really, because he didn't play in the World Cup. So,
Mm.
what were you gonna do? But
I
Lemmy
mean,
Kamara, 51 million is a lot. But again, it has that to me says less about the actual like honest valuation, more about the fact that it's mid August. So
yeah, and you have to allow for the fact that these teams we're expecting them to replace them as well now, and teams are thinking, well, hold on, you've given us their season started. In fact, I think didn't they have their Super Cup because PSG lost to Lens in the Super Cup? That means their
did
season
they?
starts. Yeah,
I mean,
so
I mean,
we're expecting them to sell their main midfielder, and their season started. Yeah, of course we're going to have to bend over
yeah,
and ask
that's
nicely.
what happens when you leave it late, and it's just part of it.
That's
And I
their
think
fault, isn't it?
I would assume that people like Ineos would know better. Barada, I mean, his time at City, you should know better. Like, what is Barada doing that he like? What did he do at City? Like, and why isn't he doing that here? Is it just Sir Jim kind of full stop like every single decision? Like, if so, then like
Must be.
you need to stay out of it. Like,
Yeah.
the owners should not have a say. Your job is to sign the checks, trust the people that you employed in the roles to do their job well.
Yeah, that's it. What's his
That's it.
title? What's Jim's title? Is it owner or partial owner? Because he isn't CEO or director of football or any of those. No, he hasn't. That's what I mean. He hasn't. We've got. It's like we want this. We've got this committee for a majority, right? But I guarantee you, there's 5 people. You're never going to get that. You're always going to have 3 or 2 or 2 and 1. You're idiot. It's like clowns sitting around a table, and it annoys me a lot.
A lot of middle managers up there.
Yeah, no choice makers.
Yeah, I love Thwaites. You guys know I love Jimmy Thwaites. Phil, I think
Should
he's
start.
not ready. He's not ready for first team.
Got to go on loan.
He's got to go on loan. He's very good. He's like you said. He's not like a defending midfielder. He's definitely like a playmaker. I do love.
Oh,
Jimmy Thwaites a
he's
lot.
the 8. Is he 8 next to a good
Yeah,
6?
he's a very good player. He'll be excellent for us if we can keep hold of him and we don't just sell him
Mm.
to fucking Coventry for 5 million and a 50% sell on in a couple of years.
Oh, don't get me started on some of these prices for these players. I mean, even West Brom today with Collier, I mean, it's more of a respectable sort of amount. But I saw someone say if Chelsea or City or someone was selling them, they'd get 40 million. And, it's a joke. They're getting 40 million for Liam Delap. Please, just stop. Stop the
Yeah.
cheating somehow, because it must be.
The one thing that's never changed at this club, no matter who's in charge, no matter who's
It's
running
embarrassing.
transfers, we just are so bad at selling. It's like everyone else has opened like a Sainsbury's, and we just have a yard sale. Like that's
Yeah.
just it's embarrassing.
What it gets me is everyone makes out we can do all this stuff, and we've got all this money, and all these people predicting United top 3 and everything like that.
I don't know.
Right? And no, but, well, there was a bunch of pundits out, all the sort of so-called, all the overlap lot, and they're doing their season predictors. Yeah, they've all got us in the top 3,
I don't
right?
even watch
Because they're
the
setting us
overlap
up for the
anymore.
failure. Well, it's just setting up for the failure.
Yeah,
So
that's
the
what
point,
the media loves to do too. The media will,
of
and
course,
those
chum
channel
in the water.
personalities, they love to build us up because it's more fun to break us down.
Of
I
course,
don't
watch
believe
us
it. I
fail.
don't think they actually believe a lot of what they
No, they
actually
don't.
say when it comes to that
No,
stuff. But
absolutely not. They want us. They expect us to fail, so they're going to say that, so it looks funny when we do. But you've got to laugh. We're doing it to ourselves.
oh yeah, it is.
We're
It is a
setting
bit
ourselves up.
embarrassing. It is funny too because Liverpool haven't really done a whole lot.
Yeah, but they
Arsenal
spent
haven't done a lot
500 and odd
either.
million last year,
Yeah,
so they shouldn't have to do a lot.
but they didn't do anything last year either. And so I think that again, it's
Mm.
how do you not have the repeat? Like look at what Spurs did. I'm not praising Spurs. I'm saying when you see that you're having some trouble, you need to go ahead and figure out a way to get out of it. You need to trust. You have to invest. You have to build in the squad, and that's my biggest issue. Again, I'm not complaining that we're not signing a £100 million player. I'm not saying that we're just not signing anyone and everyone just to get names in. I'm complaining that we're just flat out refusing to just invest at all and build.
We're
We'll
flat
see.
out refusing to accept the obvious.
Well, we're going to
And
talk a little bit about this in terms of prices in a second here, because, like I said, I was reading something that Kieran Maguire had contributed to earlier today, and it got me thinking. And I posted, if you guys follow the channel on X, you'll see I kind of went on a little bit of a rant earlier about Ineos. But as far as midfielders go, we're talking about tomorrow. Sully claims that we've apparently laid all the groundwork for a third midfielding. Like behind the scenes, the groundwork is laid, but it's just a matter of us pulling the trigger. If we are in for a third midfielder, we've been talking about, it's getting down to the wire. The league starts Saturday. Be sure to hit the bell so you guys don't miss the match preview of that. Window shuts in 2 weeks, so there's that. Ineos can't pinch pennies this late in the summer, and like you said, they only have themselves to blame because if the prices are now higher than they would have been back in June, July, right?
yeah, that's what I mean. I said it in the WhatsApp group a lot. I keep posting the dice thing. It's the biggest
Yeah,
gamble. I was talking with my boys about it, and I was like, I think this might be the biggest gamble I've ever seen in sports.
it is a massive
Right?
gamble. It's a good word.
Because take everything else to the one side, right? Take all the debt and the Glazers and forget all that. What Ineos achieved after such a rocky start last year, thanks completely, and I mean completely, to Michael Carrick and those players. But
Yeah.
what we got ourselves to was up here, and everybody was really excited, not downbeat and trodden like we were last season and in all of the beginning of the season under Amorim. We felt like we were on cloud nine. Now that, in a business, media, sports world, whichever world you want to put it in, is exactly where you want to be. You've got the fans on the knife edge. You've got every company in the world throwing the biggest sports deals at you that you could see. And then they decide to push it off the top of the mountain and hope it rolls back up that bigger one on the other side. That's it. Their single gamble is one roll of this dice, because all they want is exactly what we got this season in the league or better. If they get that and we play okay in the Champions League with this squad that they've spent fuck all on, then
Yeah.
they will have. But they will have gambled the biggest thing in sports at all and won.
Is it 35 million net so far? Is just not.
Yeah, yeah. I
That's,
mean,
that's
Coventry
embarrassing.
are above us in net spend.
And I don't care about
Coventry.
who spends more, but
No,
it's
it's the
just what it
point of it.
symbolizes.
Yeah.
We haven't actually strengthened. If you, I mean, you could say
No.
we've strengthened in quality, but literally we're down a midfielder in Ugarte. Casemiro left. We've only brought in two midfielders, so we've literally haven't actually added numbers to the
Yeah.
squad. The squad is the same as it was before. Just
Mm.
now we've got a playmaker and a promising young player in Andre Santos,
Yeah.
where we had
All
Ugarte
we've
and
done is
Casemiro before.
slightly increase on the ability level of the players of the number from before. But like I
It's
say,
not
it's a hard eight. We're going for the hardest of hard eights with two dice. It's betting the entire club on zero.
yeah.
And if you know anything about roulette, you
I don't
do
know
not bet
anything
on
about it.
zero. Well, because it's zero's your last chance. It's red or black, or zero is green. And the chances of it landing on zero are slim as you like.
So then,
So,
what would be the upside if you throw down 100 on zero? What's the payout on
oh,
that?
it's probably more than 100, 500 to 1.
So then, what would be Ineos's version of 400 or 500 to 1 this
Well,
summer? Then, if
right,
that's the
then
gamble they're taking.
their gamble is that they are going to spend the least amount possible, pay off all this debt, sell us on that at the end of the season as the winning formula, and then, like we were talking about before the show, if you look deeper into it, what they're looking for is all this money coming in from the Champions League this year, the new bet sponsors, Adidas Champions League money. When we get that again next season, they will then turn around and go, well, the 250 million we thought we could spend this year was credit. So we decided not to spend that. We paid off our debt. This year we can spend 500
Well,
million.
everything you
And if,
just listed too is all goes into the squad cost ratio for a year from
yeah,
now. We don't get to
yeah,
count, like you and I were talking about ahead of time. Like we don't get to count the Champions League stuff now because it's
no.
based on match day revenue and advancing and prize money. You don't just get handed a big check because cool you qualified for Champions League. We got some big
Yeah.
prize money for finishing third, but it's you have to. Maybe like you're saying, maybe that's what Ineos are banking on. They're just going to stockpile all this, and then next summer maybe they'll go hard in the paint. But you got to make it to
Well,
next summer first.
exactly. Well, we trade. I mean, some people might know NBA and NFL and the trading that goes on. And if you've seen Trading Day, we've mentioned on this channel multiple times before. It's like that. They are sitting there waiting, and they've got the other people all waiting. And it's just if you've got the nerve to hold it to the last second, you can win big. You can win it all, but you can also lose it all.
I mean,
So they are literally making the biggest gamble in sports history. And I mean it, gamble, biggest ever.
yeah, I just don't see a whole lot of upside to it, honestly.
But there isn't. Well, the upside is that they achieve Champions League, we get third or better again, and they do that on a net spend of £30 million. That just goes like that to the whole Man City spending, doesn't it? Though it
I
does.
mean,
If we do
I don't
that,
care
it
about
beats Man
City,
City's. No, but the idea of having to spend to win, that just puts that completely to bed. If they manage that.
yeah, but that's a lot to risk. I'd rather just win. I'd
Oh,
rather just,
I would as well, but we're not. We're not. Unfortunately for the United fans in our community, me and you aren't Ineos, Sean.
yeah, we're going into the
Otherwise,
season
this window would look a lot different. People, trust me. Go back and watch
couple
my
of
video.
a couple of key players aren't going to be starting against Hull. I don't know what Shesko's deal is. We're going to talk a little about Shesko in a second here.
I think he might be
Maguire was
finished.
woeful. Shaw was woeful. Dallo is he's Dallo, so it is what it is. Xerxes is not good enough, despite what we saw in preseason. He's not there yet.
No.
We just still don't know what Rashford's future holds. Like, there's so much still that's
Oh,
just completely up in the air, and honestly, just like it's
that's
just
gone to a new level. I've
Phil
got
doesn't think
so many thoughts on that.
Phil doesn't
What's
think they're going
Phil?
to be spending any money. I think that
I don't
they're
either,
so
Phil.
focused on not overspending that they've not realized that there's a lot of gray area in between overspending and not spending. And I think that again, this is why you have your recruitment team. You bring in guys like Vivel to help you build without overspending. So maybe they're drawing too hard of a line in the sand when it comes to value according to the data, and maybe that's where they need to maybe start having a little bit more wiggle room, especially this late in the window. You can't go into like if they come out late after the transfer window closes and we've only signed Tielemans and Andres Santos, and they're like, well, we made some moves late. And the price, there just was no value. It's like, because you waited until
Yeah,
August, you dipshits.
because you thought you could make a candle shop out of tissue paper, you bunch of melts. I mean, honestly, it's a joke. It really is. I mean, I have to laugh and I have to take a breath because otherwise it becomes too real.
Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing. Simon, I do go to matches, man. I don't. It's always fun when people say no disrespect because it's usually followed by a statement of implied disrespect. Not sure what going to the matches makes a difference in terms of what your knowledge is on the club, quite frankly. But yes, I have gone to many matches. But
Well, no.
what happens?
The only thing you could speak on that someone else couldn't would be the match day experience, the irrelevant whether you're there or not to what the facts are.
Yes, and
Fact.
I have been to Old Trafford several times in the last several years. Blame it on geography. What are you gonna do? I wish if I had the money or if I was born in Manchester, it'd be a different story. But let's in terms of midfielders and stuff. Like we said, if they leave it too late, it's their fault. You guys have kind of already said that you guys think that maybe a physical midfielder is there. I think that counts. I mean, does Lamine Kamara fit the bill? Who else would fit that bill? Senator Burge, I think, would be definitely a ball winner in midfield.
Oh, he definitely would. Do you know what I've been worried about? I've heard a couple of rumours now about him not signing a new deal with Bayern or signing or Spurs in it, Paulinho. Now, I don't actually think he's the worst player, but he's not what we need. I see Morgan Schneiderlin written all over that.
Yeah,
So,
I'm not. He's a yellow card waiting to happen. Paulinho. I would have taken him from Sporting, but that was like 4 or 5 years ago almost.
yeah.
So
But no, it has to be an Agume. I mean,
Agume.
if Baleba goes to Newcastle for 60 million, Man United have got some questions to answer, serious ones to answer.
I mean, he wouldn't
If
be
they
like my
think
top
60 is
choice,
too
but
much,
I maybe
no, he wouldn't.
he wouldn't be my top choice, but he was clearly one of our top choices a year ago. Like it's embarrassing. There are guys even in the league. Yarmouk, I think, is looking really good at Brentford. Sadiki is looking really good for Sunderland.
Oh, I'd take Sadiki. I'd take Enzo Lafay. I would as well.
Yeah, I mean he's a different profile of midfielder. He's
True.
He's more of a 10.
That is true.
Frendrup, you guys know I love Morten Frendrup at Genoa. He was absolutely balling out for Genoa yesterday in Serie A. So he's another physical.
I mean, we could have had Jurenki for 38. I don't want to go on about
another
it.
one.
It was 38 million. It's got 38 million. That's just
a lot.
to shake your head. When Coventry get relegated next year, they'll sell him for 60.
So that's my point. There's a lot of midfielders out there. I just don't know what we're doing. It's just interesting. Simon, you live 10 minutes from the Crown. That's awesome, man. Maybe next time I'm over there, we will. We should link up and share a Guinness, man. Let me buy you a Guinness. I got to meet up with Dylan and I were there this past year. We got to link up with Stu from Tactical Devils. That was a good time as well. But yeah,
we'll be going this year.
I'll let you guys know once the Champions League fixtures are confirmed, which will be probably in a couple weeks or so. I think we'll get those. I'll have an idea of when I'll be going again because you guys know I do 2 matches every time I go. It's just more financially feasible to go when right. If you can get in 2 matches for the price of 1 flight, I mean it just makes.
Of course. Yeah.
But I'm
did you see today?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, you carry it. No, just as what you're saying about fixtures, we've had 4 fixture changes today. The dates that are already. Yeah, we've had the Chelsea game, Brighton, Sunderland, and another one. And one of them's to do with Carabao, and the others are to do with Champions League, I think.
Yeah, I don't think we've got any. I need to look at the domestic cup schedule as well. I don't even think has the academy schedule been released yet? I don't think the fixtures for the
I've not seen it. I've not seen it. No,
I always look at that too. I did get to go to an FA Youth Cup match 2 seasons ago when I was there with my buddy Justin. Justin and I went to 4 matches that trip. We went to an FA Youth Cup match, a Salford match, and we went to 2 Premier League matches at Old Trafford. So we got that we squeezed all sorts of stuff in. Dylan and I did 3 matches as well. It's fun. I do enjoy it. Yeah, I remember you mentioning Friend. I think we were linked to Friendship, not what, a year and a half ago. I think Friendship's a good shout. He's a Sander Berge-esque kind of player.
Yeah,
Big, tall,
Patrick
physical
Berg
guy.
still.
Yeah.
Go, mate. There's too many. There's too many choices.
I know a couple of you have mentioned it in the chat as well. I mean, I'd almost argue while we're going back to Šeško, I'd also argue that a striker is becoming a little bit more important with Šeško's
Oh,
shin injuries just not fully resolved yet. I mean, he's not
yeah.
played since
He
he's not
hasn't
played at
kicked a
all.
ball since the second to last game of the season. He didn't play the last game, if everyone remembers. He
Yeah.
didn't
So
play.
he's not anywhere near match fit, let alone even
No.
fit, right? We don't even know.
Yeah. He's
Like,
not
what is
even been in
going
the warm up. Matthias de Ligt is more fit than him, and he's had surgery.
Yeah, this is
So,
nuts, man.
what I think,
What the
genuinely,
hell?
Sean, I think I've said to it, I've said on the channel already, I'm very concerned and we should have a striker on the list. We were talking priorities 3 weeks ago, but it's even more of a priority now.
Yeah,
And
I
I
think that.
think there is something United are keeping from us about Cisco. I think they're seriously worried that they might have spent big money and there might be something wrong with him that they haven't seen before. Because for him not to have kicked the ball since the second to last game of last season, and people have been in surgery and are back on training. Don't care about him kicking the ball. He's not even riding a bike. He's not
Yeah.
jogging. He's not even with the squad. So what is the
We
problem with Sesko? Is he
we've
like
been
old
saying
Waldo?
we've been saying since winter that we need an adequate competition now, and I've even said, I went for Troy Parrott in my rebuild because I'm not content
Going to
with
West
just
Ham.
I'm not content with just some 30-year-old who's going to get 10 matches and maybe score 7-8 goals. I want someone who's competition. You remember 98? How many top level strikers did we have at this club in 1998-99 season? Like
Four.
four. We need to have someone who, if this case
We haven't
comes
got
in,
one.
exactly. I can't look on the bench if Shesko's injured and say, "Yay, Xerxes, he'll come in and score the winner." Like again, he's not. He's just not good enough.
No. I mean, yeah, it's a problem we're having in the Cisco, and the thing that's worrying me again today is, I don't know if you all saw, it links into another topic. We all saw Fabrizio deleted his post about Rashford's 14 shirt, right?
Yeah.
And also, it was a big, massive talk all around United that we were giving Sesko the 9 shirt because we had our faith we were going to lead Sesko was going to be our new 9, which has obviously been given up by Rasmus. Now, all of a sudden, Rashford comes out wearing it against Milan, and then the next day, Fabrizio deletes the 14 shirt post.
Well, United were very careful when the team
if
news was announced. They said the shirts are not permanent.
because then what everyone's going to say, well, why is Sesko not getting it? And then there's a reason why Sesko's not getting it, and I think it could be seriously linked to the fact that we are not bending. We're either bending over backwards and being doormat United, Marcus Rashford, and if we are, then this club is finished and done. Don't care what they do or who they buy. But if it's because Sesko's injured, we're even in more trouble because we need a striker and we need one now.
The decision on Rashford should have been made months and months and months ago.
It's pathetic.
There's no plan. It's just all reactions. It's just all like scrambling. There's no strategy. There's no structure to this. This makes zero sense. And Simon, I know you mentioned Shesko earlier. This is also part of why I don't address every chat in the moment because I'm saving it for when it's relevant to the topic of conversation. Like I said, otherwise we'll be talking about. There's no plan. There's a little bit of an agenda to the show. I have it somewhat organized, so I can't stop and talk about every little thing at the moment. But we will talk about it, so don't worry about it.
And see, that's his point.
Options. He's got one of your boys on here. He's got Watkins listed. I know you love you some Ollie Watkins.
100%. That's not happening. But the thing is, I tell you now, 100% with you on the Watkins. Rob's not here; he's working tonight. But Danny and Deb and most people who know me, Sean, I wanted Watkins since we signed Sesko. I personally think we should have taken Watkins then. But regardless of that, I'm happy we got Sesko. But at the beginning of this window, they were willing to let Ollie Watkins go for under 40 million quid because they agreed a fee to Galatasaray, and he chose not to go. Villa are having a fire sale. We should have got in there and done it. And if we do it now, they're going to ask for 60. And Man United are going no. And I understand why they're saying no. But
Didn't
my brother said to me,
striker?
Yeah, they've signed Colombian someone, and there's another one. They've got Tammy Abrahams, and I can't remember.
Oh,
They're
that's right. They
signing all
did sign
kinds of.
Abraham last January. I thought maybe
Yeah,
it was West Ham. Did someone remind me? Did Troy Parrott go to West Ham? Is that who I saw?
yeah, he's in talks with West Ham.
Wait,
Apparently,
so he's
apparently
in
he was supposed
talks
to
to
be
go
there
play
at the
in the
weekend.
championship.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Interesting.
It's because someone's asked him to come and play. Still a higher standard than Dutch football.
25
Definitely is.
million he would cost, by the way, Troy Parrott.
Yeah,
Just putting
and
that
that's
out
a
there.
joke. Yeah, that's a joke. But I don't know. I was happy with Troy Parrott coming in and being Sesko's backup. I'm not happy. I don't think Troy Parrott's good enough to come in and lead the line for us in 50 games. Sean, I just don't think he is. And
Yeah,
that standard's not good enough. We need Premier League proven striker. Ollie Watkins is the only striker out there. Don't give me any Igor Thiago, because that's another one season Me Too wonder. I don't want to hear. I don't think Mateta's nowhere near Ollie Watkins' level, not even on the same planet.
I
He
will
couldn't
call
get
you out though,
30
too.
goals in 5
I
seasons.
will call you out though because you did say you would take Gonzalo Ramos, and he is not Premier League proven, as you say.
No, but he's in that. You can read. You can see he's a natural number 9.
Troy Parrott's
Mateta
got
looks
loads
like.
more goals than Gonzalo Ramos has got in his career. I'm just throwing that out there. Pavlidis is another one I really like. You guys know how much I love Pavlidis, who was
Not bad striker.
also competing back when he and Santi Jimenez were competing for Golden Boot in the Eredivisie. He's been at Benfica and Pavlidis, and he's still just bagging goals left and right. The guy is an absolute, and he's experienced. He's like what 26 now.
Jimenez
Absolutely
was
balling
another
out.
one.
Jimenez
Balled out and then
has not been
completely
good.
fell out.
AC Milan have been a bit of a shit show the last couple of years, though.
Yeah.
I see you rocking the green and gold tonight.
Yeah, well, it's the only thing I can wear now. I just don't feel like I can put it on at the moment. It
Yeah.
upsets me that badly. So,
Well, speaking of, you guys can get what the shirt Ian's wearing if you click on the link in the description. Go to the Unitedverse Everybody online store. We do have all sorts of one of a kind gear in there. So, yeah, I agree with you, Simon, on Xerxes. I've always said he's just not good enough. He's going to be
it's a traffic cone.
He's a very system specific kind of player. He doesn't really suit a whole lot of natural. He's not a 9. He's not a 10. He's not a winger. Like I don't know. He almost reminds me a little bit of Jolint in the way he plays, like an attacker who looks a little better in kind of half spaces and tight, deeper areas where he can kind of turn. Because I've always said one thing that Xerxes is very good at. He's got techers. Like we can't argue that he doesn't have techers.
For sure.
But that's about all he does. Unfortunately, he doesn't use his size. He doesn't score goals. He doesn't really get stuck in or anything. It just doesn't really.
I like the Joe Linton example, but exactly the reasons why he couldn't. They saw Joe Linton and went, I reckon I can put that aggression into a midfielder.
Yeah.
The problem is Xerxes doesn't have the aggression to be a midfielder.
No, yeah, Joe Linton's definitely got that dog in him.
Oh yeah, he'll have a fight with himself in the mirror, 100%.
He's a yellow waiting to happen. Simon likes Brian Brobby. I liked him at Ajax. He's got a little bit. I've read that he had a little bit of attitude issues at Ajax. Thought he was a little better than he actually was, but he was only like 18 or 17 or 18 when he was there.
Yeah,
had a good season at Sunderland. He's a good striker now.
I think he's a line leader, but he's not ready for our United line.
Yeah, no.
Unfortunately,
Oshiman's a pipe dream. That's not going to happen.
No, and also the way we play now as well. I don't think it suits him.
If Chesko is out long term,
it's got to be Watkins.
You need to go and get a top, like an actual striker.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, is that? I mean, no excuses being made for them now, and I'm not an Ineos sympathiser, right? But is that possibly what they're waiting to the last minute for, to find out whether there's any chance he's going to be out for 6 months? And then, because if they go now, right, say tomorrow they go big and they just go Hall and Walton, or Hall and what's his name that we just talked about, Kamara, right? We're all going to be going, yes, lovely. And then next day, Sesko's out for 6 months and we can afford no one. And you're like, Xerxes up front, Rashford up front. And you're like,
is the thing. This is where I'm like, I think they almost might be waiting to see what happens with Xerxes or Rashford, because that can make a big difference too.
Well,
because
they're
honestly,
hoping.
Look at the way Xerxes has been playing this summer. I'm not saying form, I'm saying positionally. Like this is where he's same with this is what I said about Dorgu. Like if you watch people go back and forth on Dorgu's position, well, just look at where Carrick plays him, and that's all you need to know about how he sees him. And Carrick plays Dorgu as the left winger. Cunha will probably play centrally if Shesko's injured. Umbumo is probably going to play centrally if Shesko's injured. Like,
oh, definitely.
That's what I'm thinking. Rashford will probably be put as a 9 or on the left wing if Cunha's moved centrally if Šeško's still injured. So I think they're waiting to see what is going on with the players that we have. I think we are trying to sell some
Definitely.
players. It's
Uh,
embarrassing, honestly.
yeah.
It's honest to God embarrassing. We're moving like fucking Fulham in the market in terms of just
They're
no
moving.
real money.
Everyone's moving better than us. Everybody. I mean, it is literally ludicrous. It was a joke at the beginning. Oh, yeah, Spurs. Don't worry about them throwing the money around. Now, I'm a month later down the line. I'm begging for them to do it. I'm accepting players that I wouldn't have accepted a month ago.
Most fans are there right now. That's where most. I mean, like we talked about the head of the summer. No United fan would be like, yes, Sander Berge, and now everyone's like, can we just get Sander Berge, please? Can we just get him in? I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying this is
No, he's
what
actually
Ineos
really
have
good.
turned
This is a
everyone
thing.
into.
People
He
like,
is,
but
he is good.
we're going to be paying 50 for that now, where it was 35 a month ago.
Yeah,
But so whatever they do now, they're going to be paying for.
yeah, and
But
that's the point.
I
They don't learn, and it's like
no,
they
which
can't
is what we
sit there
talked
and use
about,
that as an
Sean.
excuse either. They can't use that as an excuse because it's
No,
entirely of their own design that they
well, it's
left
like
it this late.
they've made this dice roll, but it's a long table. So we're going to have to wait to see a while to see what those dice come out with. But so much. This is what I mean. Every time someone makes a point, Simon, Danny, Boxy, Deb, Lucky, anybody makes a point, it just adds another thing into the big pot of what they are gambling.
Yeah.
I mean, if they go down in flames this season, we know what's going to happen. Carrick will be sacked by Christmas. Everyone they'll blame it all on him, but
No,
they're
they
not going
have
to
to
pull the
leave.
wool over the fans' eyes this time.
They have to leave, man. They can't. You
They're big
can't
Glazer
fumble
level.
things this poorly. Like the
No,
Glazers are crooks, but Ineos are just incompetent. Like they're
yeah,
just absolute. This is why this is up here on the corner of the
yeah.
screen. They're
Uh,
incompetent. They don't know what they're
it,
doing. I think
but this is
Ravel
what we're
knows what
being
he's doing. I
sold,
think.
best of class,
Oh,
and
we're
then
not.
we're not. Yeah,
Well,
it's like
Danny's ready to
hiring
pop
Lewis
in with his
Hamilton
version of that.
and asking him to play golf. Right, we've got Lewis Hamilton and Rory McIlroy. Rory, there's the car. Lewis, here's the clubs. That is what Jim would do. That is what Jim would do.
Interesting.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't
That's
think
how
I don't
stupid
think they're
this ownership
pocketing it
are.
like the Glazers are. I just think they're trying
No,
not. They're trying so hard to not do like make those mistakes that they're
yeah,
making new ones like entirely.
yeah. The
So
Glazers are greed.
yes,
Ineos are incompetence.
they're idiots. They don't know what they're
That is
doing.
simple as it. There you go. Red and green pill. Morpheus moment.
They have no
Greed
idea what
or
they're doing.
incompetence. We've got both. Which one do you want? In spades.
Let's catch up to the
So,
chat here for a second. Simon
bad
says, "Why
breath.
can't we get Oshman? What about this summer would make you think that we would ever even go for Oshman again?" And like you said, I don't want Rashford. I don't want Rashford in the team either. I'm not speaking when I say Rashford. He's
I'd
probably
Rossman
going to
than
be used.
Rashford.
When I say Rashford to probably use it, not because I want that. I'm just working. You guys, if you're new to the channel, I tend to work with what reality has right now, not
What
just
we've
what I
got.
want.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want Rashford to stay. I want Rashford sold. I want Xerxes sold. I want Dallo sold. I want Shaw sold. I have to
Mm.
work with the way things are, not the way I want them to be. And I think that a lot of what we do is going to depend on Rashford and Xerxes, what they
It
do.
is. Depends on what we've
So,
got and what fitness is. But if Simon's asking the question, would I take Osman? Yes, I would. Would I take him over Rashford? I'd take a lot of people over Rashford. Like almost. I mean, there's a handful of players that aren't playing anymore, dead, or are
yeah.
Jadon
I'll go get
Sancho.
Jamie Vardy as a free before I start Rashford if it were up to me, but it's not up
Mm,
to me, is it?
yeah,
It's just
no.
not. So I can sit here and I
So
mean,
yeah,
we do some
they,
shows. Obviously, we do rebuilds and stuff where we talk about what we do. I do have and again, this is not. I'm going to preface this. This is not me saying I don't like Bruno. I'm just prepping. I do have a Bruno replacement target video coming out soon of
oh,
all the options. I think would be good options to actually come in and take over that
it
10
needs to be
role.
looked at.
So yes,
It
and
does
I
need
do
to be
think
looked at.
we need to start planning for that because we don't have another natural 10
we,
in the
we,
squad
we,
at the moment.
we're the least forward planning club in world football, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
Chilean sides are
Yes.
forward more plan more than
We
us.
have to plan better. We can't wait till
It's
Casemiro
shocking.
leaves on a free to go ahead and replace Casemiro.
Uh,
We should have had his replacement in a year ago so they can overlap a little bit. Putting all those
uh,
miles on Casemiro's legs was just not
nah.
wise.
We were speaking about it before the show, and I alluded to it in my point about the historical debt and what Ineos are trying to this gamble, what they're trying to do to get to next season. We've got 5 more players will be down next season that aren't going to be here anymore. So the squad will be even thinner. You think we need 6 now? We're going to need 12 next year. This is positive. This is a gamble they're having to make, I think.
I swear down if I see any sort of Luke Shaw extension announcement,
Oh, it better not.
channels
No,
just don't. I'm just not even gonna do videos. I'm
no,
gonna have
be
to wait a
finished.
month, or else I'm just gonna get demonetized from the content
Yeah.
I put out if that
Yeah.
happens.
It's and like you just alluded to just now with the Bruno situation, we do have to look at it. And I want
Yeah,
Bruno to stay, and I want Bruno to sign this extension more than anybody because he's our best player and he's the only one that's going to really carry us. He's going to carry this team, and if anyone can. But what really does my and I know this club we've been rubbish at selling since David Gill left. We've been rubbish. Doesn't matter. Forget wages and stupid contracts that we give out. We're just crap, right? And you get the piss take from people like Galatasaray going, "We'll test the reserve with a £50 million bid for Bruno." Are you laughing at me when they want 40 million for Liam Delap, the best player in the Premier League last year? If he's 100 plus million, if they want it, Man City have just got 80 million euros for Rodri with 12 months left on his contract, who was finished last year but had a good World Cup.
yeah.
Don't give me Bruno Fernandes his 50 million quid because
Well,
if that
who put the
happens,
release
I'm
clause in
done
his
with football.
contract? That's embarrassing. It
Yeah,
sounds
I'm
to me
finished with football.
we're gonna talk about Bruno in a second. He's not one that you're gonna build around. I wouldn't mind if he retired at the club personally, but we do have to have someone else who can come in and do that job as well, and we have to start planning for life around that future too. We can't just ride the horse until it's dead and then have to now we gotta find it just doesn't make sense. But
Don't know. We've got kind of a history of that, haven't we? Didn't
yeah,
replace Paul Scholes, didn't replace Roy Keane,
we
didn't
brought
replace
Paul
anyone.
Scholes out of retirement. You can argue up until like maybe Tielemans arrived. Now we haven't really done well enough to replace Carrick. I mean, it's just since he retired 10 years ago. Like it's just embarrassing what we've done. We're not really good at recruiting in midfield overall. We haven't really. Some of them have just been bad, like Schneiderlin. Some of them have just been too old. Like maybe you can argue like Schweinsteiger, for instance, or Casemiro, maybe.
Just the wrong time.
We haven't properly built the midfield, I guess is a better
No,
way of looking at it. We've
no,
started, this summer's been good. Like Tielemans, Santos, good players, but it's not
yeah,
enough. We
no,
need more.
nowhere near.
And don't
Not even
forget about left back.
5% what we need.
We spoke about left back at length last week. You know, Lewis Hall's name's not going away. Newcastle reportedly insistent he's not leaving. They've said that about other players, I'm sure. I'm sure they said the same thing to Spurs with Tonali. I'm sure they said the same thing to Arsenal about Bruno Guimaraes as well.
Of course
I'm
they
sure
did.
they said the same thing about Isaac last summer. I'm not saying
They
we're getting
definitely
Lewis
did.
Hall. I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily mean we're not. But
No,
there are, all clubs say the player's not for sale, right? It's how you play the game.
of
But left
course.
back, such a priority. Joaquin Seis, David Raum, this just Jorge Salinas kid. Hugo Bueno, people still out there too. Some people like Anthony Robinson. Like, we need,
There's
we need a left
options,
back.
isn't there?
Because
The
what did
Forest
we see
kid
from
as well.
Shaw? Yeah,
Yeah.
Nico Williams, we were linked to him
Yes.
last month too. He's like, what are we doing? I know people
I
were
don't
freaking out because
know.
Newcastle picked up that Dedic kid, but he's a right back. He's not a left back, so he's not
Yeah,
he's not
no,
replacing Lewis Hall.
no.
I like Joaquin Seis. I know there've been some random links. The links aren't great. They're not from great sources from Joaquin Seis, but you guys know how I feel about Joaquin Seis. I featured him in like half a dozen videos in the last year alone. He's good.
Yeah.
He's a really good fullback.
I think a lot of people are taking more notice now. There's quite a few players coming, like have been signed from that sort of there. Like, or Club Bruges have been on a right run this year, and they just selling off. Just been like,
But they have a track record of that.
oh,
Bruges
that's
has
them
some
clubs.
really good
That's how they
players.
do it, Sean.
Yeah,
They're in a smaller league. They're not that kind of club. They get talent, they make it, and they sell it for big money. And congratulations to them.
yeah.
Fantastic. And so that
They're-
Tolise looks a right player. A
He's.
right
I
player.
told you guys about Christoph Solis. Man.
Like,
I told you guys.
I swear it. It makes me feel sick, but I swear it. He
Told you
was.
about him.
I loved it and hated it.
Told you about
Watching him
Yashari.
torture. Yep.
Yeah.
Watching him torture Man City's defense was hilarious. But yeah, he's going to do that in the league, and I'm going to hate every
He's a
second of it.
very good player. Again, it's just a position that we didn't necessarily need, so it wasn't really a priority. But it was. It is. Big topic of debate while we're talking about prices and stuff. Big topic of debate overall this summer has been the fees. Obviously, you got guys like Anderson, Tonali, Mateus Fernandes, they're going big money, but they're not 117, 90, or 80 million pound players. They're just not,
No,
right? I think we can
no,
all agree that they're not on paper worth
no.
that much. But loads of fan every summer. I think since the Neymar to PSG signing, I think every summer fans have been asking a big question. Football fans and John United fans, but when will the transfer fees get back to normal? When is this going to revert? The answer is probably going to be never.
Never.
I think what instead I don't think you're ever going to see it get back to that because you never really get back to normal when it comes to stuff like this. Like look at
No.
prices of like a gallon of milk. Sure, people in the 50s were like, when is it going to get back to normal? It's not going to. That's not. And this is the thing. Now, Kieran Maguire did a piece earlier, and he had a lot to say about this, about the fees. This is not because of agents or mega rich owners per se. A lot of this has to do with
No.
the overall money in football, in the Premier League specifically, because the overall money in football is what's increasing, which
Astronomical.
therefore increases the costs of everything, including transfers, TV money. Big reason for this. As the revenue of the Premier League increases, so does a club's ability to spend. And believe me, revenue in the Premier League has increased. I read
Hugely.
earlier that since the formation of the Premier League proper in 1992, right, revenue overall in the league has increased. Anyone want to guess how many times it's increased?
Oh, I would be surprised if not every single year.
Give me a percentage from the
Uh,
last
oh,
30 years or
um,
so.
oh, over 80%.
Oh, you're way off. You want to know how much
Yeah.
the Premier League revenue has increased since its inception in 1992?
Oh, it's going to be over 100 then, isn't it?
It's more than 3,000%.
Oh, well, there you
Premier
go.
League overall revenue as a league has increased more than 3,000% since its inception. This is
It's
why.
insanity.
So clubs are sharing in a lot of this money because of the TV revenue and stuff. Broadcast rights and just the scope of broadcast rights in general has changed in the last 12 years with streaming services and stuff too.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, Kieran Maguire doesn't think we're ever going to see a 500 million pound transfer. He doesn't think it's just going to keep on escalating, but he does think that the overall revenue growth is at a peak. You can only pay so much, right, for broadcast rights. There's not like much more to it. But the main thing
Well,
to
yeah,
take
you
away from
can't.
this, and I want everyone's thoughts on this, and yours too, and when I'm done,
Mm.
the main thing to take from all this is going back to the original point. When will the transfer fees get back to normal? Why are these guys going for so much? 50 million to like 75 million for, I guess you would call average Premier League footballers is probably going to be the new norm from now on. And it's not
Yeah.
because we have to stop looking at 50 million as being way more than what we think they're worth. 50 million is just going to be the norm. Ineos are going to have to just start accepting this and jump on
Mm.
board before it's too late and we continue to be left behind. So like I said, I read that from Kieran Maguire. I wanted you guys' thoughts on that because
Uh,
it's frustrating, and I think it's probably going to get us more frustrated at Ineos, right? But what are you guys' thoughts on 3,000%?
I
Right?
mean,
It's nuts.
it's astronomical. I mean, let's just get it straight on the nail. When it was last season, it came out that every Premier League club took near enough 100 million in just TV money.
It's nuts.
That's in that alone, nothing else, just the TV money from Sky, and
Well,
that is insanity.
the championship playoff final, right?
It's the most
Is
expensive game in
is the
football.
most lucrative one-off game in football. Like
Yeah,
that's
you're
crazy.
taking about 50 million for winning the championship, and all your sponsors are paying you money. And then when you come to the Premier League, they give you the keys to the Premier League and £100 million check on
Yes,
day
exactly.
one.
If you're a
And
club
you're
like
like,
Luton Town or something and you manage to get promoted, that's like the best day of your life. If you manage
they,
to not get relegated this following season, that's like you're set as a club for a
yeah.
while. Like for a while.
I mean, Coventry have been a top flight club before, right? But I guarantee you, they have never, ever in their history, in the financial tick over year from one to the next, had so much money come into their bank account.
Yeah.
Ever as a football club. And the Coventry are one of the oldest football clubs in the English league, and they've never in their history been able to operate on this level. I mean, we go back to when you're talking about inflation. Remember when Trevor Brooking was the first £1 million footballer ever? People were like, oh, no, £1 million for a person. and then it was 5 million's the new 1, and then 10's the new 5, and then 20's the new 10, 50's the new 20, and now 100's the new norm. And it, like you're saying, it's only going to get to a point where it becomes out of control,
I think.
which is
Go ahead.
no, it's just when you've got the super rich owners, they've had to do this 70%, 60%, whatever cap, right? Because otherwise it will get to the point where if you're just because I'm 100 times richer than you, I will go, well, I will give you 500 times what he's paying you to come and play for me. And clubs will end up getting round it like that,
Chelsea.
where transfer fee, Chelsea, City, Tottenham, Barcelona, and the cops could go on. But I think it'll get to the point where we won't actually almost have transfer fees anymore. We'll get to the point where players, I think, will be signing 1 or 2 year contracts, and it'll be, wait till your contract runs out, I'll give you £3 million a month to play for me for 2 years, and then you go somewhere else, and it will just become
like managers.
Yeah,
lasting a couple of years.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about American football. Like, one of my boys really loves it, and he was trying to give me a brief. We always talk about the trade and the way they have that they can trade players, right? And they have huge salary caps. Now he explained to me this hasn't always been the way in football, in American football. It became the way, the norm, quite a long while ago because of the superpowered teams like the Cowboys and that having 20, 30, 100 times more than any of the other teams. And they would just go, you, and you. And it wasn't fair. So they had to think of a way that it made it fair.
And this is the problem that you get to, like, and this is why, like, the American sports it's a little difficult to compare because it's a closed system. These leagues are completely closed. So you do have a monopoly. It's like MLS. Like when Beckham came in with Miami, he got in cheap because of a deal he signed when he signed for Galaxy. So he paid very little to own a club than
franchise,
you're normally going to have to do. And he's basically turning into Timu Barcelona. But in a closed system, you do start to see that impact. It's like you can look at like the individual leagues, like the Bundesliga is a little bit like that. The way that Bayern just do whatever they do. PSG is like that. Even the Saudi league, people like to think the entirety of the Saudi league is loaded. It's a handful of clubs in the Saudi league that have a lot of the money, and there are clubs in the Saudi league that you've never even heard of because they just don't get that share of the money. It's very interesting. Really, football is it's such an interesting look at transfers. You really want to look at it from a lot of different angles because really, what you're buying at the end of the day is a contract, right? You're buying
someone for a term of time. That's all you're doing. It's like renting a car.
I worry that data is relying a little too much on the data is starting to hurt us a little bit this summer. I think we've seen it because the data will show us that such and such player is only worth this much. Well, the data needs to also work with your eye test as well. You need to trust what you can see and honestly what you can't see sometimes with like personality, resilience, leadership. You can't measure leadership. You can't measure resilience or confidence or that. You can't measure that kind of stuff. And so that it's completely unlike a house because like you take 3 houses next to each other on a street, it doesn't matter necessarily when it comes to an appraisal, right? It doesn't matter what the inside looks like. An appraisal is going to look at comps. It's going to look at square footage. It's going to look at year. It's going to look at compared, and it's going to tell you. Appraisals are going to it's like taking 3 rocks, and it's going to tell you each one is worth the same because from the outside they all look the same. But one is like flint, one is like gold, and one is a diamond, and we know that they're not going to be worth the same when you really start deeping. And this is, I think, where sometimes the data can hit a limit when it's not fully kind of fleshed out. And our data department is not fully fleshed out. It's still very new. We're still adding to it. But then when you've got guys like
one of the best person in the world at reading it, and we're not listening to him.
Yes, you can't have a not fully fleshed out data department. You can't bring in guys like Vavell and whatnot. And you can't have someone like Sir Jim who's so focused on not overspending and not opening up the coffers a little bit.
It's counterintuitive.
It can't combine well, especially a club like United. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, no, it's why we don't mix oil and water. They just don't. They don't mix right. And again, it leads back to the point of what was the plan? There isn't a plan. And the main one, if you ask me this minute to put a pin in one thing that I think's the biggest problem, it's the no one decision maker. We've got this perfect little team sitting around the table, all the data in the world, stack of dough in the middle, but they cannot decide. They are the permanent hung jury. They cannot all say the same name. And regardless if it's Wilcox or whoever's not being listened to, it doesn't matter. There has to be one person making the choices, or you're in a perpetual spin cycle.
I think there is one person who's made the choice, and I think that all those guys you listed are operating under that one person whose only choice this summer has been don't spend too much money, and I think that's Sir Jim. And I don't think he's trying to keep it for himself. I just don't think he wants, like, look at what he did when they came in, like, over the last years. Look how many cuts they made and stuff. Now, fair play. Invested in Carrington. We're happy about that. Brand new pitch this summer at Old Trafford. Happy about that. That takes money. It is what it is. But at the same time, that can't be the way to approach a very important summer window as a Manchester United owner. You cannot just say, okay, well, as long as we find a way to spend money, it doesn't work. I'm gonna jump in the chat here. You guys get involved. You can make sure you hit that like button if you haven't yet. Please make sure you subscribe. We're having a really good conversation tonight. I'm really happy. I want to make sure I'm getting back. It's hard for me also too, you guys. I'm a person. I get focused on the conversation I'm having. Sometimes I forget that there's a chat here. It's not because I don't rate you guys. It's because I'm so engaged. Simon says we need to look elsewhere for up and coming talent. I've said it many times. You guys know I do the scouting reports because I believe there's a lot of talent. This is why we have someone like Vavell, who I think Danny pointed out. I did see some random rumors linking Vavell to Bayern. Apparently he's on a list or something, but I don't know how legit those links are. He's only got 1 year left of his contract, Vavell, so we need to keep an eye on that.
We better not.
Big up Rob's in the house. Hopefully you're having
United.
New job is going well and everything. Big up. Yes, scouting is important, but at the end of the day, you still have to make the decision whether or not you sign this player. Again, this is why I said, why bring in guys like Vavell if you're not going to freaking list him? Now, he did, I think the Andre Santos thing was a Vavell thing, but again, I would love Vavell to take over for Jason Wilcox personally, but
we've all been wanting that, and I think it's the logical progression. I think it's the next step for him to take a step up. But it's illogical, like you said, and again, it goes back to one decision maker, and I don't think there is, or one that doesn't understand it, is that if we're going to listen to Christopher Vavell, which we clearly have, right, then we know, on one signing, then why aren't we listening? Why is it okay, yes, one, and not okay the other? And I think that's where a lot of this, apparently Jason Wilcox is only Premier League players, and any non-Premier League players he's poo-pooing completely. Right. Well, if that's the case, then that's why we didn't get Sangare, and that's why we didn't get Urenki, and that's why we've not gone for an Agume. But, and there's a caveat here, I said it to Sean the other day, if they turn around now and get Lamine Kamara, then I'm going to be livid. Because why didn't we get Sangare, who's 10 times the player and would have cost us £3 million less? Because they can't answer that question. Because it's a joke.
There's no plan. There's I think they're waiting to see how the dust. Maybe part of it is they're waiting to see how the dust settles.
Johnny Cash, Jim Cash.
But I'm like, it just doesn't work. Rob's in the house with a code, guys. We do have a fantasy Premier League. We did do a fantasy World Cup league. Rob's taking charge. I'll leave that open for a hot second. There is a link in the description too if you guys want to go check that out as well. And I did post a link the other day as well.
Also, if you're in the WhatsApp group, Rob's posted a couple of things to some good other YouTube little things about the game and how this season's working. And it is get your teams ready for this weekend. So there's pretty much all the new up-to-date squads are in there now, and I think it's quite simple. It ain't that hard this year. Sean, it's quite easy. You can almost just go done. It ain't like the World Cup one where you've got to change it every 3 days to something new.
The World Cup one is confusing. I think they've made it so complicated with boosts and stuff, and I'm like, this doesn't need to be this complicated, but it is what it is.
You've got is your captains and things like that. Rob will explain it in the WhatsApp, but you've got to get a team in. even if you're not gonna like watch it all year or be that bothered, if you don't do it week 1, you'll regret it.
Yeah,
Because if you get the
probably.
bug in week 3, you're going to be annoyed. So
What is Simon
just
saying?
pick a team.
Simon says, back in the day, the manager made the choice of Sir Alex. Yeah, they used to. Unfortunately, I just don't think that you can do that anymore. I
Nah.
talked a couple months back. I spoke about this because I came across an article on LinkedIn. Most clubs aren't doing that anymore because it's just not. It's too much of a financial risk. I mean, look at what we've done. I think a big part of what we're also trying to get away with. Again, someone posted earlier a lot of million in wasted signings because for a while we were signing 4 managers and we were stuck with bloated squad of players for different systems. And I think that's also something we're trying to get away from. Clubs are
Mm.
realizing now, and this is why you're seeing the data and the recruitment teams become so fleshed out. They're realizing you can't. It's not financially sustainable to only sign managers or sign players for a given manager for a given system because managers don't
Mm.
last long anymore. I'm not saying I
No.
agree. Just because I'm saying doesn't mean I'm like, great, I love the data. Like, I'm just pointing out the way things are now. It's just
No,
not.
you've got to see it.
Yes, it's not
Yeah.
even managers anymore, man. It's head coach now, and I think that's going to tell you a lot. I think the managers have a part. I think the managers, obviously, they're in training. They are on the pitch. They can tell you what they're looking for in players, what profiles, and then it's
Certain.
the recruitment structure, the recruitment team's job to go and find that as well. But
Mm. Yes,
so United
certainly.
have never been a selling club. We've always been a winning club, yes. But unfortunately, it's also part of why we're in this shit show that we are
Yeah.
financially because we've
Mm.
not sold players and we've just continued to buy players. And under the
Oh,
old
absolutely.
FFP rules, that really hurt us because we weren't showing a whole lot of money coming
Uh,
in, but we
uh,
were spending a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm getting Simon's vibe of like the way our club. We're old enough like that to have understood what that was. And if you'd seen it like months ago, we were having the same discussion about like Sean's done a section now where we're going to do a lot of what if. And if you were all asked what question, one thing we could change or one thing we could have right now, I'd take I'd take David Gill back in charge, and I mean in charge over any signing of any player you could give me tomorrow.
Just even
If
from
they
a
said
negotiation standpoint,
yeah, no, just JB Gill's coming in and taking charge. I would pick. I am done. I don't care. I'd rather have that than Adam Walton. I'd rather have that than Patinia. And you might think I'm stupid, but I promise you, I am not. Because David Gill was the only thing close to Sir Alex about how important that era of our club was. He did everything on a level that no one else in the Premier League has ever managed. And if we brought him in tomorrow and got rid of this indecisive bunch of muppets,
like what?
right, left him with Favell and just went, right, what do we do? I want this, and that. We'd have them before the week ended.
Like what
I
did
promise you,
Barada actually do at City? By the way, I have no idea. What
nothing. He
did he
was
do?
there.
I
He
haven't.
was there. He was there. What do they call it when you're not the financial guy? You're the one under the financial guy. He was
A
like the reserve
waste of salary.
financial
Is that what
guy.
they call it?
Yeah, yeah, a CFO, a CFFO.
Because the only thing I've seen him
Like
do at United
fuck
is give
all.
an interview with Annie Mitten, and that was the only thing I've seen him do so far.
All I heard was it was some big coup. What
Yeah.
we got the financial guy from the Cheaty team. Oh, great!
So
And
you're
he's
really
now in
doing it, huh?
charge.
Danny's trying to
Brilliant.
make me cry, by the way. So that's fun.
What's he
Thank you for
saying?
that, Danny.
Scored. Oh, down. He is in my team now. I've got to say I don't care. I had to have him. Him and
Oh
Urenki are
man,
good prices as well. Get in there quickly before that price gets put
Urenchi's
up.
a good player.
Yeah.
Oh boy, guys, this is a good chat. I love it. We've got a couple odds and ends I want to talk about because we are almost 2 hours in, so I do want to make sure we do. But I do want to make sure. Hold up, I want to make sure. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? There she is, right there. Pop, pop. Told you to get through
Boom.
do that right
Yes,
now.
lads. Big up, you legends.
Thank you, Danny, for keeping me honest. I told you guys, keep me honest. I will forget. Like I'll put polls up sometimes and forget I just have polls up. I'm a human being.
We have to remind him. He doesn't actually remember them.
If you remember, you have to have the membership stuff enabled in your YouTube account and your settings if you want to
To
be able to be
register.
eligible. So I'm going to go ahead and gift 5 memberships now, you guys. If we get to 30 more, because we've got probably a good 15 minutes left, I will go ahead and do 5 more. But I'm going to go ahead and send out 5. So we'll see who's lurking. We'll see who gets
See if I
membership,
can
you
get the
guys.
wife's attention, and we get another 10 on top of that. I'll do 5 more,
Actually,
but I'll have to
Jarvis
get
is
the wife's
lurking.
attention first.
Big up Jarvis. Liverpool Prophet's in the house. I'm not going to go too hard on Liverpool Prophet because I'm pretty sure
May the
he is
force be with you.
he's buddies of Rasta Stocks over on that channel. Go check out Rasta Stocks channel while you guys are at it. But big up, you guys. Thank you for hitting that like button for me. Subscribe too if you guys are new
Absolute
while you're at it.
legends.
We are on the
Did we
road
get any
to
lurkers?
5K. Oh, we always got lurkers. Don't worry about that. You guys know for sure we got
Lurkers.
lurkers. So who's in here? Bexy, Jarvis, Liverpool Prophet, Ketal Dolan, don't know how to say that, and then Jubmo have all received memberships.
That's
But
Liverpool Prophet's second time.
Liverpool
Lurker.
Prophet, I didn't realize at first he's on Rasta Stocks channel as well as part of his panel.
Nice.
So big up Rasta Stocks.
Big up
Pretty
the
chill.
Prophet.
Even more like somehow even more chill channel than this one is. Ours is a pretty chill vibe. I like to think, but Rasta Stocks he's definitely got the chill like down pat. He definitely knows what he's doing. He's a chill professor. So big up Rasta, big up Liverpool Prophet. I appreciate that. We won't go too hard until it is time for the first match against Liverpool, and then
You're copying it.
Then being nice.
Yeah, do you have
all
that?
bets are
You're
off.
copying it. Oi, hey. I'm here all week.
So odds and ends, but big up everybody. Thank you for that. Don't forget, membership is the best way to get involved in the content. We do have that WhatsApp group for Starting 11 and Legends members because the stream ends doesn't mean the conversation has to. Legends get early access to exclusive videos like my replacement number 10 videos when it's time to replace Bruno. I've got half a dozen or so options, so you guys are getting new. If we sign a left back, if we sign new players, typically I'll do an exclusive video on those players as well. I've done some on like Adam Wharton. I did do one on Mamadou Sangare. It's kind of a waste of time now looking back on it. I did an Academy breakdown trilogy as well. But those are the kind of things. You also get to make suggestions for scouting reports. You get to make suggestions for Would You Rather questions, a new segment on the show as well.
Yep.
So keep that in mind, you guys. Is the best way to get involved. To try to give back as much as possible. It is more than just emojis and badges, even though those are pretty cool too. I mean, anyone who wants. If you can't get hyped from Eric Cantona kicking a fan badge, I mean, I don't know if football's for you. So
Exactly. Yeah. You do need these badges. You need that. And with the like what if or the anything either. I'm like I said the other week when we was arguing. I have this argument with my brother, especially because we're old school FM players, and there's a new one out of the old school retro edition, like Ronaldo at Inter and stuff. We were talking about these great players. I put out Maldini as the greatest defender I've ever seen play the game. Anybody, I'm welcome to challenge me with that with someone else. That's another thing I wanted to put out to the chat. Anytime you want to put up a name, not a big thing, not a segment or anything like that, but if you can challenge with something like that, like R9, if you think there's someone better than R9, I'd like to hear it.
Oh yeah, he's definitely my top striker. Here's an idea for a show too that I was gonna probably do, and you guys can let me know if you think this is a good idea. This would be for like an international break kind of thing, and it's gonna be a kickabout thing where we go through probably 1 through 20, maybe like 1 through 18 or something, and we pick the best player to wear that number shirt. Make your arguments. So we go like number 1, who's the best number 1 to wear it? Who's the best number 2? These kind of things. Well, we can go through that and kind of do a countdown, like who wore it best, basically, is what it would be.
Yeah.
So
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I thought would be fun to do someday. So
yeah, I mean, you could almost split that over a couple of like an international break over a couple of shows, because we could have like a poll, a mini poll for each one. Like we'll have the choices, and yeah, that's a good one. I'd like that because I love a retro football argument.
Yeah, because I think that'll show the gap in generations too. Because some people remember different numbers. Because and even just different leagues. Like you gotta remember, like growing up in the U.S., we didn't get, unless you were super rich, you probably got access to watching European football mid 2000s maybe.
Right.
And that's being very generous. So
you've got no Football Italia or any like before that. Oh,
I got my United box like VHS in the summer of the season when I was younger. So that's just how I got because we just don't.
Match of the Day, Teletext, and Football Italia.
All that stuff. You guys had all that stuff. We didn't even. I mean, when streaming services started, that's when it really got really good for us over here. Because now I can watch everything. But So it's
Oh,
not like
sure.
but again, I'm only 42, so I wasn't watching. I never got to see,
You're a pup.
some of these older players live. I have watched a lot of like I've watched the '68 final many times on MUTV. Like Aston is a player I think is highly underrated in that squad personally, the left winger.
Oh,
But yeah, so that would be
amazing
something fun to
players.
do in the future. Something fun to do,
Yeah.
just kick around. But like maybe it's a good idea to split it because that could be a long show. We could split it up, maybe do like five at a time or something.
Get like the defence done and then the midfield done and the
Yeah,
strikers and the final shows putting it all together.
yeah. So
You
we
know?
have done an all-time United 11 show in the past. That was a really fun
Yeah.
show. I tell you, the center back pairing in that all-time 11 for people was scary. Like it was
Mm.
they the fans
I don't,
voted,
it's
the
not.
chat voted. It was Yapstam and Nemanja Vidic was our center
Village.
back.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it just isn't anyone else.
Can you
Rio, I don't get me wrong, I love Rio, and when he was playing for
Yeah,
us, some stages I also think he's one of the best defenders. Our
he's
English
good.
defender might
He's
be
very
ever,
good. I love
but
Rio.
you are not getting through Yap and Bidder
Right?
at their best. It is impassable
Can you
with
imagine
Edwin
being a
behind them.
Yeah?
Impassable.
Can you imagine being a striker and receiving the ball like in the final third, and you're like awesome, and you turn and you're like, oh shit,
Shit, yeah. Oops. A
just
wall,
I
just
literally
a
just shit
wall,
myself.
and then a
Yeah,
bigger wall behind that, and then if you stick Irwin at left back, and I don't
yeah.
want to say Gary Neville, but
Well,
maybe Neville or
Gary Neville, you
Paul
can't argue
Parker.
that he wasn't one of our probably
No,
our best right
he
back.
was good, but he was good because of Bex. But then you'd have Bex on the right, so I'd go Neville. If you went Neville, Stam, Bidder, and Irwin with
Yeah.
Van der Sar, you're not getting through it.
It was a fun show. It
Eh.
was a very fun show. You guys could go find that. It's we had Dylan was here, Joel was here live, and then you guys obviously got involved. That was a fun show. I think it was we did 4-4-2. I think it was Rooney and Cantona were the strikers. The striker partnership were the.
Fair
So
share.
it was a good show. Some players surprisingly did not make it. Do not think Ronaldo made the cut. So interesting.
That's a big call. That's a
Yeah,
huge call.
I left it up to the chat. So
Well, yeah.
um,
I think that's why a 1 to 11 of the world's best over your life, over whatever lifetime you've lived as a fan,
yeah.
will be good because it gives you a bit of a scope, more of an
Yeah.
argument,
If you
and
get different
like,
generations on here, yeah, because I might not have
who's the
some
best
players.
right back?
Yeah, I
If you,
might.
you
I would
know,
definitely put someone like Modric in there because I think, as far as my lifetime, Modric is one of the best I've seen in midfield. The guy is just
yeah,
absolute world class. Like he just is.
yeah. There are players that so many people are going to have thoughts on, but they, yeah, like there are players that make me get emotion, make you get emotional thinking about it. So, like, yeah, that'd be a great show.
We got some odds and ends here, you guys. Let's chat. We're on the home stretch here.
Yeah, I'm getting waved at.
Some reports that West Brom are going to be maybe looking to be reunited with Toby Collier. He was on loan
For
there
him.
first half last season.
Yeah.
12 appearances, 1 assist for them. Supposedly, discussions are now taking place regarding a full permanent transfer. I like Collier when he's fit. He's a very good midfielder. I think he's got a high ceiling, but he's just had too many injuries. What are you guys' thoughts on that deal? Well, how much you think you would get for Collier?
I think you're probably getting five. Or you might get 5 million. I don't think we get much more. I mean, it's all profit because he's a academy, but he's just unfortunately had a little bit of a chance where it looked like he might burst in like McTominay sort of did, and then he fizzled and it just didn't work. And unfortunately, he's been out on loan and not been able to maintain that. And I think we're lucky that someone's wanting to come in and give us anything for him because.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like I said, and like Philip says,
I
like
mean,
he
it's
played
quite there.
well, but then so did Mount in preseason
Yeah,
until you get. And that's the thing. You just got you're like Shaw. Shaw's eventually going to inevitably be going to get injured. It's just part of it, and that's the same with
yeah,
Collier.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, we talked about Collier. He did play well. You're absolutely right, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
And the other day he came on, and this was exactly the reason why I was saying about Jack and Tyler Fletcher needing loan because they were struggling with the ball in midfield with the PSG press. He came on, and even though he's not good enough to play for us, he made it look a little bit easier. Just because he's got had more experience of the quickness of that level of football.
Well, I think
So
he is a better player. Even when he was here under Ten Hag, I think I really liked Collier. And you guys remember when the show was back then. I love Collier. He's just never fit.
Yeah, I just think he got to a point where he realised that he wasn't going to be good enough, and it's just move on. Sorry,
He
move
reads the
on.
game really well. His positioning is really well. Like he doesn't hide from the play. He's just not fit ever. So yeah,
Not
five,
fit
six
enough.
million probably going to do it. Maybe throw in a sell on clause. A sell on clause seems to be the norm as
Yeah,
we're seeing now with Ethan Ennis. He's joined Stockport County permanently. 50% sell on. We got a buyback and we've got matching rights for Ethan Ennis.
I
Ennis,
think we're happier to do that if it's less. We're taking actually less money off the clubs and just adding all these little possibles in later.
yeah,
I think
Ennis.
that's what
I
it.
really liked him 2 seasons ago. He had a breakout season in the academy. He was getting hat tricks and stuff.
Yeah,
Dylan and I saw him Salford last year. I think it was Crew. I think he was at Crew last year. I want to say, and he was the star of that team. Basically, they were always looking for him. He took the corners and everything. I wouldn't say he played amazing. He wasn't like the amazing player, but you could tell that he was the guy that they look for. I just don't
yeah,
like Scanlon, like some of these other players. I don't know if he's ever going to be the level that we're going to need, and that doesn't mean he's bad. He'll go and have an
nah,
excellent career. He
yeah.
will.
I'm sure he will, and hopefully they do. It's just that, yeah, like I sometimes say, and I've said it before here. We're not a youth club. And I
Yeah.
don't mean that in the way that we are a youth development club and we're proud of it. And I'm very proud of that record. But what I mean by we're not a youth club is you're not just here for fun. You're here, you are work hard, you're either good enough or you're not. And
Yeah,
that's
there are
just
levels.
the way it is. It's not a participation trophy club. You're not here to get a medal for trying hard.
Yeah, there are levels to
You make it
United
to the top of the
versus
hill or you
Academy.
don't.
Some
Yeah,
of these players,
100% sure.
they're great, and I like a record. I love that this club is built on youth. I love the Jimmy Murphy award. I love the Academy. I've done loads of content on the Academy. We've
Oh,
done loads of watch-alongs on the Academy. I've gone to Academy
it's our
games. I love it.
future.
I love it. When there was earlier in the year when there was a chance that I could be even moving to Manchester, I looked at a couple places to live that were right across the river from Carrington. I was like, this could be amazing. I'm gonna get arrested for being a spy, but it's gonna be amazing. I love the academy, but there are levels. Not every academy player is gonna
It's going to
make it to
make
the
it.
first team, and that's just a numbers game. That's just part of it. If you look at the percentage of footballers who even make it to the Premier League, it's like less than 1%, man. It's like less
Mm.
than half a percent. It's like a tenth of a percent. So
I see people making out like it's harsh that we're doing. Right.
no.
Take the worst level of professional football that have got an academy, a full-time academy. They don't take every single player. And they can barely afford to pay their squad players £100 a week.
We're one of the few clubs who actually uses our academy still. We've
Yeah.
got the record. Now, you guys know how I feel about the record. I love the record. I love the youth. I don't think we should force it for sacrificing like quality and whatnot, but I do love the record.
Mm.
Lacey will be in and around the first team, obviously. Yeah, I think Devaney should be ahead of the Fletchers. He should be ahead of
100%.
weights and stuff in terms of coming because he had an excellent loan at St. Mirren last year. I think Devaney
Yep.
is probably the most
It
ready
deserves that.
midfielder we have.
Yep.
Orozco's coming. He's already looked good. Sekou Kone is having a
Oof.
banger
Yeah.
season this season for
Mm.
Lausanne. Now that he's getting minutes, he's already got a goal and an assist for Lausanne. Doing very well. We have really good players. Most of them are just not quite ready yet,
Yeah.
I think. And I'd rather they go out and loan and get minutes than rot on the bench, personally.
100%. I did see someone say about in the youth chat about can you imagine if we get a chance to Kone to play, like we get the youth cup final and imagine Kone, Orozco and Thwaites.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
if you actually deep that, if they could play together for the next 2
That's the
seasons,
cheat code.
I mean, you're talking Thwaites replaces Bruno, and then them two absolute units behind him doing all the work.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just got
Devaney is
chef's kiss
Devaney is
written all
such a
over
good
it.
player. Devaney should probably be next in line, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. We got a lot
I,
of really good players in the academy. A
I
lot of
think
fullbacks.
McCormack should be ahead of both the Fletchers as well.
Cormac's in there as well. Yeah, the
Rafe's an absolute beast.
Fletcher struggled preseason. They looked a little lost at times. So we'll
Mhm.
see what happens. I like to look at Morehouse. He's dipped a little bit for me. I do like to
Yep.
look at Morehouse a little bit. Obviously, JJ. Everyone's talking about JJ, Cheeto, things. There's loads of players in the academy, but we'll see. Not all of them are going to make it, and that's the point. It
Nah.
just is what it is. You look, there's only so much you can know. We've signed a ton of youngsters this summer too. Teenan Thompson, I don't know where he's going to play. He looked pretty good in preseason.
Hmm.
Very direct, very confident, good on the ball. Louis Page, if we sign Louis Page, he would probably jump up ahead of everyone else in terms of maybe for depth options in midfield. He's already playing. He's already played first team football in the championship with Leicester
Oh,
last
yeah, he's
season.
definitely ahead of them. Yeah,
And
yeah,
he's an
100%.
all-action midfielder, very similar to Lamine Kamara on the way he plays. I think he would probably jump in, and I wouldn't call him the third midfield signing, but he would definitely come in, and I think he would be.
He may
He,
well
he could
be.
be in the match day squad on a regular basis, and
For
probably
sure.
be just fine.
For sure.
Let's see here. Let's get involved in the chat here. Yeah, they are. It's okay. I'm not saying they have to be ready. I'm just saying the point is some of them aren't ready, and that's just the point. We're in a little bit of a purgatory with some of these youngsters, where some of them look a little too good for under 21s, but not quite good enough for first team quite
Yeah.
yet.
I've been saying, we've been saying a lot, Phil, that I think literally I would almost transplant the entire reserve team out on loan. And if I like, we own Lausanne, I'd force like 6 of them onto them and make them play them.
I don't know why
That's
we
what they're
don't do
there
stuff
for.
like that more often. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, I
we
mean,
should just let them be just throw all of our academy. You know that for a time, and I talked to Puck this in my director of football replacement video, because I did do a Jason Wilcox replacement video several months ago. Brentford's director of football actually did away with the academy for a while because it was they just had reserves, and because it was just to save money. And I'm not saying we do that to save money, but I'm just saying, like you're saying, maybe there's other options than just having 1,000 levels of the academy sometimes.
yeah.
So,
No,
you never
they
know.
got to the standard at under 21s, even against the best teams, is not good enough to take you from playing a season of
No.
that to go to first team. It's just not.
Well, look
But
at
if
when the
you
under
could
21s
take,
play grown first team men in some of their
it
cups.
doesn't, it don't
They get
come. Yeah,
they get
it don't
destroyed.
work. But if you could say, like we've sent Kone on loan, if you could put a Roscoe and Thwaites and JJ and maybe Noah and Obi, right, and go, right, look, you lot, go and play there together. Do you know how much better those 6 footballers will be at the end of the season for playing all those minutes together as players in an actual league? It will give them. They'd be better doing that than 20 seasons of youth football. So if we don't make that step, then they're never going to get a chance. Ever.
I do like the academy. I do. You guys know I love the academy. Simon says Ineos have signed a lot of these young players. I mean, we were
Yeah.
signing youngsters before Ineos arrived. I mean, that's just what clubs do. They sign young players for the academy. That's how you keep your academy going. That's nothing
They
new.
have done it a lot more though in the last 2 years, and
Well, I think
like,
that's what Wilcox is. That's like his bread and butter, Wilcox.
yeah,
And
that's what he did at City.
I don't have a problem with it if it means we getting good players. I mean, no one's complaining
No.
about Aiden Heaven, right? So we did it with
Oh.
Sally. We got him from Palace and stuff. Like,
Is that
it's
the
just
real
part of it.
Is that the real Ornstein breaking thing? Sorry, sure. Sorry.
Yeah,
Not
you
getting
gotta
caught
look
out by. I'm not getting caught out by it again. No.
a lot of fake Ornstein accounts out there. I
No,
reported
no,
like
no.
12 of them in the last couple weeks alone because there's just so fake, so many fake ones. And you're partly right, Simon, is that some of them will, some of the players will be signed. And the intent is for overall in the academy level is, yeah, some of them are not going to last. We are going to sell them. Like, that's just part of it as well. And I don't think that it doesn't. I wouldn't say it raises enough money for it to really make a difference, honestly, in our overall financial structure. But yeah, like I said, part of the academy is to train these players. They get development, they get good wages, they get scholarships and whatnot, and some of them will make it at United, and some of them will go on and play football at other clubs. It's just part of it. It just is what it is. We've had. I'm trying to think of who's come through. Obviously, Lacey is breaking into the first team. I don't even know if I'd count Heaven because he didn't really do anything in the academy.
Not overly, really, is it?
So
No, Lacey's this season's one with the most chance. I mean, Dan Armour could get a chance.
he's looked really good.
Possibly, yeah. I
in
mean,
preseason, I think.
if no left back, it's going to be Harry Amass is going to be on the bench every week. So there you go,
Unless he
another
gets-
one.
Unless he gets sold, but if we sell
Well,
Harry
that's
Almas,
gone really quiet again.
we have to
Like
buy
all of a
left
sudden,
back. Like we just have to.
that's what makes me think we're not, because that's all the talk of Harry Amass
not-
going is
He's
gone.
not quite there yet.
But he's going to
Yep.
be the left back on the bench, Sean. There ain't no one else.
Big up, Booger. Well, says hello, guys. Thanks for the show. A United fan from
Evening.
Uganda. Welcome, Kampala. Did we have any transfer?
Big
Not
up.
today. Not
Unfortunately not,
today.
mate. Unfortunately not.
Simon was expecting to see more of JJ. I was expecting to see more of Thwaites. Honestly, JJ is just
Yeah.
15, so I'm like, it is what it is. It's a good test not only for him to get training and stuff with the first team, but it's also a good test for the coaching staff to see how he handles traveling with the first team, handles
Yeah.
all the attention, because he was getting a lot of attention in that little cameo he got. It's a good assessment of his personality to see how he handles it. He could go a Garnacho Sancho route, or he could be very, very humble. Who knows?
Yeah. Hopefully he does. He done his song. He looked so embarrassed, bless him, but he did well in his song. But
Gotta keep a good
the
head on his
highlight
shoulders.
was the youth keeper. Did you hear
Yeah.
about it? He belted
Yeah.
out some Adele, and even Carrick went. But with confidence as well. So the kid obviously knew he could sing. But
Yeah.
that takes some balls to stand up. I mean, when you see the videos, there's the whole team, the whole staff, everybody is sitting there staring at you. You have to stand on the chair as well.
Doesn't make it as a footballer. Maybe we'll see him on America's Got Talent or something.
It didn't look too bad when he came in.
Let's end on a hilarious note. Let's laugh at Arsenal. Community Shield. Did anybody watch it? Anybody care? I'm not at all surprised to hear Martin Keown thinks it's a very important trophy.
Oh, obviously, it's definitely an open top bus parade, a 2-day affair.
Oh, I'm surprised. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't watch it, no, but I heard the result come up, and I was like, what? And I was like, all right, am I going to look on here? And Arsenal have gone full strength, and B-Tech Pep has gone like with the kids, and I was like, no, that's pretty much City's best team.
Yeah, you got
3-0.
million
I was like,
Elliot Anderson out there.
Yeah. He looked like,
and I was like, what am I watching?
He looked like a duck that didn't realise the water had frozen around him.
Imagine spending the last couple months being courted by City and then find out Pep's leaving. I mean, that's like I feel it's like Robin van Persie when Fergie left after.
Semenyo was sold a lie. Mark Gay was sold a lie. Donnarumma was sold. They were all sold a massive lie. But it was the best thing about it. Watching it was not only I thought Talise did look good but Arsenal. I thought Ben White was one of their best players. But aside from Arsenal, that City team is horrendous. I told you it would fall apart under this absolute joke of a manager.
Would be surprised to see someone like Nagelsmann or something come in mid-season. I think
I give him 10 games. I give him 10 games. I think he's the first manager sacked.
Maresca,
he's a joke.
It's got some David Moyes vibes going on. Although I think David Moyes won the Community Shield, if I remember correctly.
The joke is they're going to spend they've spent all that money. They're going to buy another 120 million on Enzo, which is the world's biggest con. That player is going to have gone for 240 million pounds. He's the biggest joke footballer on the face of this earth. He's crap.
Yeah,
I'd rather have a Garte, and I don't care what anyone says.
It's
Enzo Fernandez is shite.
I don't know what City are doing. If they spend that much on him, and then they also go get Buwadi, like just literally
they're letting Buwadi stay in France, Sean.
They're just
middle
fingers, but they still have to pay for it. That's my point.
Exactly, but they don't care.
That's my point. It's just middle fingers to the league. Like it's embarrassing, man.
Joke.
And Danny says Anderson was shit. Yeah, he definitely.
Yeah, he was terrible.
It's funny to me how the Arsenal fans already like saying like, "Yep, title's coming again." But like Simon says, there's more evidence. I mean, again, I don't really put much stock into this whole. It's just a correlation. It's not really a thing. But yes, more often than not, the winner of the Community Shield does not go on to win the league.
No,
but I don't really. That's just a correlative thing.
But they are the ones to beat. I'll tell you that now, because that Man City team's a joke.
Yeah. Can we say that like winning or losing the Community Shield is what decides the season? No, it just is what it is. Usually the teams that are in the Community Shield are teams that have won the league or won the FA Cup, so they're already decent teams. You got to think, right?
Yeah.
So stands to
reason. You have to
go ahead.
No, sorry. I was just going to say you have to ask yourself if Arsenal don't win it, who do you think will? Or like who do you want to win it? Because we aren't. Just put that out of the window. We're not winning it. I don't want City winning it. I don't want Liverpool winning it. So Arsenal are the lesser of three
I don't
evils
really
for
care
me.
about City and or Arsenal and Liverpool winning it. I don't care if City win it. I don't even care if Chelsea win it, honestly. Like, obviously, I don't want them to win it, but at the end of the day, they cheated. So what does it really matter if they win it or not?
Mm.
It just robs the rest of the league, and it makes the Premier League itself look like spineless cowards, honestly.
Oh, they are.
Um,
They
but
are.
we'll talk more about what we think top five is going to look like tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Wednesday. We're going to be doing our
Wednesday.
season prediction. We're going to talk about what are our musts for United this season. What's success versus failure look like? What's progress look like? Keep in mind Arsenal. They are 6, 7 years into a project. Same way Liverpool were six,
Absolutely.
4 or 5 years into a project. Like, it
Can't
takes
compare
time.
ourselves to that.
So most other teams, Chelsea, new project; City, new project; United, new project; Spurs, new project. We are all in a big not project, but again, that's not an excuse for a
No.
shit transfer window. Ineos have to actually start. You can sit on blueprints for a house. You can have all the materials. You can have the money. You have to actually start building it at some point. Like, otherwise, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
But Arsenal fans, just any excuse I have to laugh at Arsenal fans, I'm
Of
happy.
course. Of
Where are
course.
we at on likes, you guys? We already gifted 5. We are about wrapping up. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't yet. Hit that subscribe button
Legends.
if you guys are new, because if we get to 30, remember I promised we got to 30, well, we are at 23 according to my screen, so
I
probably
can't
not going to
see.
get it. So, but Ian, that is gonna wrap it up for us tonight. Good show tonight, by the
Yeah,
way.
mate. Yeah, like to let a bit of frustration out. I say I've had a real chilled out day. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go downstairs now, and the wife's gonna be like, "What you got the ump for?"
Well, this is why I'm here to get it out and get it out here instead of taking
Yeah.
out on other guys. But appreciate all the new faces as well. Appreciate everyone
Yes,
jumping in, hitting that
absolute
like button.
legends.
The more likes
Love the
you
smashing of the
pop in,
likes.
the closer you guys
Yes.
get to getting some memberships. So don't forget to check those memberships. Don't forget to check out the United vs. Everybody online store as well. And if you want this year's
Absolutely.
kits for not a lot of money and you don't want to give the Glazers any money, go check out GoGoalShop. There is a code in the description. Use that code when you register with the
Yeah.
GoGoalShop. You get $5 off. So they do have this year's
Absolutely.
third now too. But
I
Ian,
see the kicking cantonars in the chat, and also all the new members spam your Glazers out thing. I see it spammed.
spam it. If you weren't able to catch
Spam it.
live, leave a comment in the section. You guys know I will check in with the comments. It's the best way to make sure I see the comments, especially when it comes to members suggesting scouting reports. If you put scouting suggestions in the live chat, I'm not going to see it. Because
Stick
if
it
I
in the
got to go
members
dig
bit.
for it, put it in the comment section, and I'll get notified. I'll see it. I won't have to go searching for it. It's there. It's the best way. It's just
Yeah.
trying to make sure you guys don't miss out. So,
Find somebody that Sean's not scouted. That's the
yeah,
challenge. That
that's the
is
big
it.
challenge.
You want to try and beat Sean on any kind of a point. That's the way to do it. You got. You got.
You can uncover somebody that's
Yeah.
good. And I don't mean just go find a random from like the third tier
No.
Latvian league or
No.
something.
It's got to
but,
be
like,
someone good.
good.
Danny's the only person to have done it so far.
Danny's good. Danny's really good with South American players, which
yeah.
admittedly I don't watch as much of as I do other leagues like Belgium or Austria and whatnot.
Yeah, you
But,
got to find your niche.
yeah. But Ian, thank you, my friend, for
As always, man.
stopping by tonight, sharing your thoughts. I feel my stomach growling. I gotta go check on the dogs, make sure everybody's good to go downstairs. Nobody's getting sick anymore.
Nope.
So we're all good. But you guys, thank you again so much. You guys are legends. Appreciate everybody.
Absolute
jumping in. You guys,
legends.
make sure you share and like and all that good stuff. I've said it 100
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
I'll say it one more time. But you guys, take it easy. We'll see you Wednesday. Barring any breaking news, plan on Wednesday. Make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts and your guys' predictions and must-haves for the season as well. So
I've
till
got
then,
some interesting ones. Peace.
till then, take it easy, guys. We'll talk to you later.